budget today. Is that right?
Yeah, they'll come in next week and make a budget request, and they'll either ask for the same or ask for more, but just like we just gave the museum that 25,000, and we should be some by, Delta Council here too, unless they've already
We did
done.
that last month.
Did we do it? I know we talked about it, I didn't know we paid it.
Sunflower
$365.28.
years ago as the county community action agency.
Tab Supply Company,
Apply for different federal.
$40.46. Three Rivers PDD, $150. Town of Inverness, $11.39. Total Maintenance Solutions, $91.52. Town of Sunflower, $8.39. Towns of Mac Williams and Holiday, $3,531.47. Trustmore Incorporated, $3,150.03. As far how much?
That's gotta be
Not
for several
for
months.
Christmas.
That's gotta be for several months.
Number 8.
Okay.
I mean, you got about 30-something cruisers out there, there's no way they could use $100 a month. They could-
Mm.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
$262 for the, to the post office also.
Mhm.
This is to the post office for $500.
uh-oh.
It didn't hurt.
Hey,
Of the church,
What happened?
Kinda,
no.
the thing fell off. I don't know if it hurt it or not.
As long as they ain't want no homemade bomb, we okay?
Don't even talk about it.
No,
of
we
church.
talking about all these blasting all over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I said, as long as it's not one of them homemade bombs, they can
Wade
blow us all they want.
Incorporated, $150.29. Northwest Mississippi, $416.67. Washington County Juvenile Detention Center, $1,210.
Send them all around there, and then we got Washington, Baldwin, and Emblersville County.
All right, that's the last one.
But I'm just saying, $1,200 some dollars.
Did you, that's the last one. Where's the stick file?
The stick file, where is the stick file? No, it's in here.
No, it's not.
It's not?
Okay, this one goes on this same group?
That goes with that group.
Okay.
And this one does. Xerox Corporation, $386.50. This is a different group here.
Joyce, you didn't have a pen for this?
Data Systems
They said
Management.
Mr. Rice got it already.
Hmm.
You got the
Okay, I'm
pen
sorry.
for this one?
Go now.
You got the pen for this one, right?
Third group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it must be that one there.
What pen?
Mm-hmm.
What
No,
pen?
with the stick pin.
Oh,
Well,
but she has
I
that
thought,
one. She has one.
okay,
Joyce has one too.
okay.
Okay. Mississippi Public Entities Workers' Comp, $179.88. Southern Telecommunications, $42.42. Technical Appraisal Services, $7,000. And Fleet Insurance Agency, $150. Sunflower County Payroll Clearing, $675.80. Nexus Risk Data Management, $175. AT&T, $52.70. C Spire Business Solutions, $214.01. City of Ruleville, $17.50. Delta Computer System, $270. Entity, $145.19. CenterPoint Energy, $25.24. Notary services, $154. Susan Holt, $77.28. Internet Insurance Agency, $100. Key Solutions, $99.95. Lee, $1,780. Marriott Hotels, $198.
Yeah. Wonder why some would be that low, not a lot of paper served or something? Sheriff?
Yeah.
That's kinda low there, 1780. Not a lot of warrants being served.
That's about every month it's been that way.
Usually
I know.
that'd be a minute a month.
Wow, I noticed that. I
But
noticed
you
that.
can't get paid till you turn them in, though, till you
Mhm.
serve 'em.
1600 now.
Go look at the next one.
Yeah.
Look how much the next one is. 3,200.
Marriott, $198. Jackson, Mike Myers,
See, that's the other constable there, 32.
$3,200.
That mean he's been out serving it.
So he's what?
He's been out serving them.
Okay, yeah.
Mississippi Justice
Okay.
Court Commissioners, $27,274.30. Mississippi Public Entity,
Hold on, that means, hold up.
Well, that's-
I can't.
Something
I
ain't
can't-
right.
They had not been paid in several months.
who is this?
You wanna look at it, John?
Collections.
Well, that was a big one, I know that. Yeah, see, it's like, well, it really hadn't been paid this year, I
Right,
guess.
they're not.
But I thought we've been approving them in her justice court report.
Yeah.
We have been approving it, but for some reason,
And it's been, I think the orders have been saying that they should be paid, but we just hadn't had a check written.
right.
Well, anyway, it's a bunch of them,
$70,000
$1,500 and
is,
$4,200, and that's
So,
all,
that's okay.
yeah.
Well, don't y'all give me no $27,000 at one time. You know what I'm about to say this? Man, we're gonna have a good report this coming Thursday, buddy. Shoot, $27,000. That means that we should have collected about $200,000 to pay $27,000.
Well,
That's
you
pretty
did,
much
probably,
what
you
she's
did
done.
25 and for them to get that.
More than that, bro.
They get
Cause
20.
we
She
got
pretty much has
They get
collected that much since
25%.
January.
the month of February, she collected 50-some.
50-some thousand.
50-some. She turned in
Wow.
50-some thousand. at one time.
It's collected. It's collected one time.
No, I don't know. I used to hear
Yeah,
that.
it ought to
But
get
they
paid every
collecting,
month.
they
I'm
sure will.
surprised that they haven't complained. They supposed to be getting their money.
Total
every month.
collected.
Office depot,
I see,
57.98.
one invoice here, they collected 16,000.
Reed Exterminating Company, $30.
Another one, they collected 45,000. So they've been collecting. Sure collecting.
Southern Telecommunications,
Just the court has not done this well in years.
Whew,
$400.
that's great, that's great.
City of Indianola,
Uh-oh.
$38.23.
That one ain't-
Entity, $210.08. Sunflower County Library, $30,500.
30. What?
$30,500, that's what it said
Okay.
on here.
It's Garden Engineering's next.
I don't have a library.
It's the next page, 26.
Library,
Okay, 30,000, okay.
And we didn't go.
then we got AT&T, $4,010.
Okay. Go ahead.
Ceasefire,
We'll come back.
$61.97.
Fold it.
Ceasefire Business Solutions, $54.25. Delta Electric Power, so Steel Man, $252.59. Mississippi Public Workers Comp, $179.88. Ledge Telephone Company, $250. Southern Telecommunications, $90.58. Sunlight County, Med Staff, $13,500. Okay,
That's the ambulance service.
yeah, we didn't pay all of it for some reason.
Yeah?
They billed us 14 something, I guess to make up for when we shortened them or something. You know, we had a
Full
dispute.
amount wasn't paid? Yeah, but I thought they was asking for the 13.5, and we had been paying them 12,000.
Right,
Yeah.
so we didn't, we just make up. It was-
How much the bill was for?
What's the difference?
Bill was 14. But we didn't make up the difference.
That's why we didn't pay the whole 14. I'll check it.
No. The makeup, we supposed to gave them a check all at once for the makeup.
Did we?
Wasn't no add-on to each bill. We paid them. They asked us for that money at one time.
What docket was it on?
Last month, I guess. Month before last.
Well, we made
Cause
it up.
Johnny pulled out the contract. Johnny pulled out the contract.
I know it's supposed to be 13, but I didn't know we had done the
Yeah.
makeup.
Johnny,
I didn't know
we-
we'd already done the makeup.
Them that, we paid them what we owed them at one time, and
Well, we paid the invoice that they sent for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we did.
Yeah,
How much
so-
was the bill this time?
14.
It was 14.5 and bill was 14.5 and deducted $1,000, made it 13.5.
and that's what we're supposed to
not
pay.
enough.
them.
No,
Well, I
paid
know
it.
that's what we paid was $1,000 extra.
Yeah, cause it was 12,005. And
Right.
we went up to the 13,500. So I don't know why they billed for
No,
14.
no, it shouldn't be 13.5.
It
It's
should be 13.
Had been sending them 12.5 for the whole,
Since
I guess all
January.
this year, since January, but why they billed us an extra
I know.
$1,000 unless it wasn't in February, 'cause
Then
I
they billed
wasn't
an
here.
extra 1,500,
Well,
5 months time.
It says, subsidy for March, April, and May. That was paid last month, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Evidently not.
Well, if it wasn't paid,
I think
We
what
owe
was
'em.
paid, I think what was paid last month was January and February. The $1,000 was for January and February.
So we
We're
probably
supposed to be paying them $13,000 a month.
So that's makeup.
And so what we're paying them now, 13.5?
No,
no.
No, I'm talking about what with
13, but if we owe them for March, April, and May, it should be 14.5. If we owe them for March, April, and May.
That's what they billed to.
well, they billed 14.5 and they deducted 1,000 from that.
No, we deducted
We
1,000.
deducted 1,000.
Why?
We don't know.
I guess 'cause we paid $1,000 last month.
That was just for January and February.
Let Joyce check
Yeah,
it
that's
and
what
tell
it's
me what
saying.
McIntosh.
They billed us for, and we already paid them 1,000 of the 3 months, and we only owe them 500 more. So instead of being 13, it's
Should've been 5
13.5.
months, so this
We
is,
owe them five months, January, February, March, April, and May. And they did 2 months, and now they come back doing 3 months.
I thought we discussed, we just had mispaid them for 3 months.
Well, let's check it out. Let's
Yeah.
don't
You
pay it,
remember
we'll
that?
check it out.
I don't know, we
Go
owe
ahead, Lou.
$13,000 a
Let me
month.
go back and check
Yeah.
it.
All right, just leave
I
it
think-
approved.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
I would leave it
she
approved.
contacted them, Stephanie did, and we got it lined up. It was 3 months. I remember we was 3 months behind. And we gave them 1,000, and they billed us for the other 500. That's why it's 13.5 instead of 13,000. And they deducted that $1,000 that we did pay them.
Already.
We probably just
That's
have to
why
check
it's
it
on
out.
there.
We need
Yeah.
to check that,
We could check it out, but I remember it.
because it's come up again.
Yeah.
We don't check it.
Yeah,
Sure.
Cause on the
We'll check
last
it out.
time we paid them, we said they had raised it 500 for something, wasn't it?
Because they add extra ambulance and
Right,
check
mm-hmm, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thompson's Reuters, $84.74.
Mr. Rice, leave it out. Don't,
Dennis, can I see that one?
Mid-South Catfish,
thank you.
$26.60. RES, $28,069.97. Liberty Tire, $4,998.44. Supply County, South Supply County Hospital, 44,000. Mississippi Development Authority, 2,000. Appropriation or something. Sorry.
That's on the bill, that's on the, Catfish building out there. That's where they were paying rent.
The Mississippi Delta Authority,
Yeah.
Development Authority, I mean.
That, long as we rent the building, we receive rent off, so we'd have to give it to them, because they gave us the loan.
They paying us, we paying them for something.
Yeah, Joyce, what is that for?
What was that?
Mississippi Development Authority.
You can't
No,
tell from
on
that.
number 2702.
How much is it?
$2,000.
They didn't send an invoice in.
That's it.
It's just a piece of paper with somebody else could, oh, who did that?
Yes, ma'am.
It was not the invoice, it's just a.
Well, they may be sending us a bill for the rent, knowing that we got, but they don't know that it's empty yet, I guess.
Transfer it. When we get the money, we send it to them, but since we're not getting it now, we don't send anything. It would be on your regular, agenda.
If
But-
we got it.
But we don't have it rented now, so we shouldn't be sending them 2,000.
So why are we sending it to them?
It would
Shouldn't be.
I just think it's just one of the things that do it.
So we can
We
take that.
receive that, we'll hold it out and we'll make sure that that's what it's for.
Well,
It said
Oh,
transfer,
yeah.
it
Okay.
said transfer out, MDA,
That's not what it says on that piece of paper, which is really
I
not
don't
an
say
invoice.
on your
I don't see
sheet there.
anything on this.
It's just a piece of paper.
Ms. Dickinson, I know that, what I'm saying, the, transfer out, MDA, what you call it? Disbursement.
Okay.
So, we take that out of it, cause it's for Delta Pride Catfish. It's a CDBG grant.
And remind me, we need today, y'all have previously directed me to give notice to those people that the lease would be terminated, and I've received nothing from them, so today we need to actually terminate.
Okay. Make a note of that. And then we need to, how long has the building not been rented? That we have not received?
Since January.
Well, I hope we have not been sending them $2,000 every month.
I don't know, we need to look back and see though.
I don't think so.
I don't
remember-
think so. I don't
it coming up.
remember.
I don't remember it either.
But I don't know how this one fell in there.
We'll find out.
$8,841.47, APAC. AutoZone, $99.99. Air Delta Implement of Indianola, $483.48. Home diesel repair, $862.55. Ceasefire, $250.42. City of Indianola, $39.93. Clark Auto and Tractor, $652.26. Crawford Construction, $1,520. Entergy, $693.92. Centerport Energy, $46.39. FMH Water Association, $28.25. Fuel Man, $2,324.98. Fuel Man, $3,557.87. GNC Supply Company, $3,983.41. Gresham Service, $1,038.90. Jennings Welding, $17.62.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was there. I apologize.
What is this one?
Kendall Gravel.
Kendall Gravel, $2,400. That's all of it, right? You don't have any more?
Which page is the, Pacific Development Authority? Any of you know?
Page,
Okay, y'all ready?
yes.
Kendall Brew Farm Services, $1,123.06. Osmond, $182.98. Max Transmission Services, $1,400. Auto Plus, Lovett Auto, $764.24. Mississippi Public Workers Comp, $3,957.44. Mobile Glass, $330. Mac McKay's Auto Parts, $818.14. North Sunflower County Airport, $200. Red Wine Savage and Sales, $50. Scott Equipment, $2,769.19. Scott Petroleum, $2,871.82. Ledge Telephone Company, $351.40. Bobby Bernard, $190.86.
That's a good year, tired of your.
Two-year time. Southern Telecommunications, $310.26. Southern Power Art, $570. Indiana Family Medical Group, $110. Sunflower Lumber, $85.89. Thompson Machines, 85, what is it, 99?
99.
$29.80. Wade Incorporated, $1,251.21. GNO Supply, $6,489. Mississippi Public Entities Workers' Comp, $2,608.29. MR State, Tri-State, $6,610.13. This one is 2009-05 for JMPR. 2,450 with KRC LLC. Southern Bancorp.
Did we get to 2905?
Let me see that. Let me, just wanna see, one of them's supposed to have two people on
It is, it did.
it. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
This is the last payment of Southern Bancorp for $187,173.88. Was a negotiable note.
For what?
For some kind of note, and nothing attached to it.
$450,000.
Series 213A,
2013, see what it was for, unless
yeah,
it's something.
but it's paid off. That's over a meal tax.
Yeah, let's pull it out and see where it comes from there, because we don't know what it is.
It's 20.
Yeah, it's
We
paid.
know it. You might want to pay it.
Put it out and let them look at
You
it.
wanna keep it out?
Yeah, keep it
Keep it
out.
out.
Okay, this is the First National Bank, general obligation hospital bonds, $172,696.88. North Sunflower Medical Center,
That's the one.
that's the one, North Sunflower,
I think this should be the last note, shouldn't it?
that's that $3 million for North Sunflower.
And they have to-
Hey,
I
Glenn.
think they send the money to,
Look
don't
at it for me.
don't they send the money?
Email that was negotiable
So, I know,
note.
but he has not sent it yet.
And you got the
13,
money, you got the money for that?
I talked to
For,
Ms. Marlowe
what did we buy with it?
Thursday. And
Yes.
before we mail that check, let's make sure that, because he said he had it in the
If you
bank.
can, if you can.
And he was gonna pay, and that'll be the last note he pay. You know, that's gonna be the last note, it'll be paid off. So, but we won't mail a check out until we get it from him.
So we need to hold that one out too. until we
Yes.
hear.
Prove it though, so she can
don't-
mail it.
Yeah, the ones
Excuse me,
with the phone.
tell me
Yeah,
again.
we'll prove it. Not just
Holding it out.
Uh-huh.
Hold that out.
Out, because he, you know, it's in the bank, he might wanna hold out another month or two, or you don't wanna dump that kind of money out your account without.
7 years not gonna be $3 million though.
Mm.
It was a $3 million general
Mhm.
obligation bond, and at $172,000 a year, in 7 years, that's not gonna be $3 million, so it's not paid completely.
Okay.
No, they didn't
All
put that
right,
one as
thank
paid
you.
off yet.
It's just
Please,
a
please do.
yearly.
Thanks,
Yearly
thanks.
No.
payment.
You didn't know.
There must have been a 10-year. 10 years.
There was a, is that, y'all talking about the hospital?
And North
Yeah.
Sunflower. This is the one where you, They reimburse. I
Maybe
think.
that's bank court knows of that. Maybe that's it also.
$1 million, man. I mean, this is just $172,000. It's a $3 million bond. That's what was borrowed.
Yeah,
This is just the payment that's due on August the 1st.
the annual payment.
And they reimburse us with you also?
But what they've been doing is they've been sending the money down here for us to have so that we would not have to levy taxes for it. So if you got the money in this account yet,
Okay,
Dennis, one time, let me say this, you know, one time they came in, they didn't just pay it by note, one time he put a big lump sum on that.
but that's just a payment.
I know, but one time he came in and paid by 2 or 3 million.
2 or 3 million?
Oh man, when they make it, he
State
don't like no long
treasurer.
debt.
$32,711.92. State treasurer, $7,917.59. Crime victims, $784.50. Public safety, Mississippi Department of Public Safety, $1,078. Mississippi Department of Public Safety is for $34.50. Mississippi Crime Lab for $64. Mississippi Delta Community College, $7,683.80. Ambulance maintenance. Mississippi Delta Community College, $3,587.11. YMD Joint Water Management, $2,212.20. This one's $3,200 to Gardner Engineering. Townsend
Hold
Mac-
on,
Page 25.
cause we have a couple on that didn't, well, page 25, garden engineer supposed to be 3,200.
that's what this one is,
That's what this one you just called, Ms. Dixon.
3,200 garden,
Mhm.
32.
Okay. All right.
And this one is to Townsend and Matt Williams Holiday for $2,000.
Okay.
Takes care of that one.
It's on the home grants,
It's on home, I think.
okay.
Mississippi Department of Employment Security for $4,371.
Page 32.
And then
That's it. Show
Hold
the
up,
back, you
hold
got them all.
Okay, with Mississippi Development Authority. Okay,
Mississippi Department of
okay,
Employment Services, page
I-
32.
yeah, just fold that because we have some discrepancy about it.
why don't we describe what this is on this one?
What is that?
This is Marion.
That's my deputy clerk.
That's your deputy clerk?
He's the court clerk. We pay him $650 a month. That comes from our account.
He works in the Chancery Clerk, Chancery Court with Judge Waters.
They're every month for
Yeah.
$650.
Is
No, I've
this
seen it, but usually have something on the
unemployment?
description on there.
No,
Put something else on.
Delinquency,
I don't know what that is.
that must be unemployment.
Okay.
Oh, what's Gregory?
No,
No,
the
no.
one before me.
No, that's just payments that you got to make monthly.
Final notice.
Which one is it?
MDES, Mississippi Department of
Employment.
Employment Security.
That's the final notice. And that one just did a description on there, I think.
Where is that at? What page is that on?
Is that
Just-
the one that was on 32?
I don't know what this is. $4,310.
Must be
How much the whole bill was?
4,300 and
It's
something.
4,300.
And that's the last one?
But this is benefit charges.
That's
Yeah.
benefits.
It's got
Charge back.
$1,880 Paula S. Sykes, Amanda Guest, $80 Virginia Nash.
They're drawing unemployment, what it is.
Oh, we didn't vote on that, we didn't discuss
Oh, we-
that.
And some kind of notice of it or something that it was gonna be paid if we didn't object. We should have objected. I don't, that's That's an elected official.
We have,
It never come across this board for us to
Mhm.
discuss.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And we have several people who have left this county and we never paid,
Wait,
not when they just leave.
no, you're not supposed to. When they just
Guess
leave.
just left. One time that, who else you got on there?
Oh, right.
Virginia P. Nash.
Where's that?
I don't know.
is it from, oh, here it has North Welfare Office. Did she work at-
South.
Oh, okay.
For the
Let me
elected,
get with Ashley on that.
with an elected official, I don't think you can deny them. Can you, Johnny?
We thought we could, but we said-
No, if you elected and you start drawing unemployment from your position, I don't think you can deny
Do
elected
they
officials.
get
I
unemployment?
don't think y'all
Elected
get
positions?
unemployment. I
They don't
never
get
heard of an
unemployment
elected
when they
official getting
position.
unemployment.
I know.
No, they get
No,
beat.
no, they was, you had two positions, you had one hired, county administrator,
Well, maybe that one.
and then you had one elected.
So you don't get paid unemployment when you're elected position.
Yeah, but from county administrator,
Oh,
without,
county administrator maybe.
I don't think you can,
Did anybody sign off on it anyway? That's what I know.
this board never discussed it,
No, I mean, somebody should have signed off.
and you
on
can't
it.
pay them from this board. County administration is a board position, you can't pay it unless we discuss it and have a board order on it.
But I still think somebody should look at them beforehand, before it comes to the board, sign off on them.
They got it, they sent all this to Ashley, and we objected to it, and then it came.
But nobody really signed off on it when it came back.
It came back to,
So we paying.
who said we had to pay it? Who?
Unemployment office.
So I think.
For all of them, or just for?
I just remember her talking about Ms. Sykes.
You probably need to just check with the state auditor.
Yeah, we'll go back with them.
Something.
Yeah, huh,
Cause I never knew she had one for Mandy.
yeah.
I don't,
So I think, what
I
I'm
don't
saying,
think
I
you
think
can-
we.
Let's
I saw
verify
a
it.
couple of invoices come through
I don't
that
think
didn't
you
have
can.
anybody's signature on it.
Okay.
Let
So
me
I think
see
we
that.
should
Let
have
me see
somebody's
that
signature
before.
other than
I don't think you can deny
Joyce or
Ms. Sykes
whoever,
because she didn't
with the
quit
signature
a
on it,
position.
approving it
She
before it
just
comes
was
to the
not
board.
hired back. So you can't deny her unemployment, I don't think, for the county administrator.
Yeah.
She didn't quit, she just was not hired back. But this other lady, Guess, she just left her job.
You said you're gonna verify that?
Yeah, I'll be back with Ashley on.
Huh.
And the South
Ashley on that.
Welfare,
Who is that person?
Virginia Nash, I don't even know who that is.
Let's look up there.
So we're holding that one out,
So we're saying this coming up to,
$4,000?
gonna be every month, or what we doing, playing
Well, I
catch
think
up?
I think that's about 3 months if you look at it. Look at that second page. And then have up in there somewhere for the month or something.
October through December,
Well, I mean, gosh, what is that? Nobody's
two
looking
thousand
for it.
fifteen.
October.
That's
through
zero,
December.
that part's zero, keep looking over.
Oh.
Benefit your interest due $17.90, total payment due $17.90.
It's just only got October, November, December?
January through March, that's on the first page. January through March, interest due $43 for 4 months. Okay. Once we go into executive session, we'll discuss,
Okay.
because it might get down into personnel, Johnny.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Have a motion that we pay the claim down.
Make a motion to pay the claim docket.
It's been approved to pay those with the understanding that we're gonna look into.
Yeah, all those been pulled out. We paying into the testing of those, and once Johnny has approved those, our attorney will make sure they're in line, then they will be paid, but if he said they outlined, they'll be helped out, we can pay them next month or whatever, if they need to be paid, or later on, whatever, there's some clarification on it. We have 3 or 4, don't we?
Okay, I just have a question.
There's two really, I mean, I think this one is,
Mississippi Development Authority needs to be pulled in.
that was held out,
Huh?
that's out. I
What is
just,
it?
I stamped rejected on that one. I know
Which
we were
one?
supposed to pay them.
Mississippi Development Authority?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mississippi Development Authority.
And I want
I
y'all
got you a
to,
note on
I want you to look back and see that we,
That's what I got on it.
did we pay it last month and the month before last?
it. Since
it
January.
We have not collected it, we don't, it's a wash. They send us the money, we send it to them. And if they have not been there since January, they haven't sent us any money, so we shouldn't be sending them in. But you're not gonna get anything back from them, if you have sent them.
No, but I don't remember here.
Let's
I
just
don't
see,
know how it got on there.
just wanna make sure, let's check, they come across.
One other thing I wanna say about the invoice, I wanna make sure I see it's on each one of those invoices. Some of them have receiving reports, but some don't. So.
That's county administrator and the county treasurer and the county auditor. Any payment paid out, you should be totally aware of it. You're just sitting in there for us to,
I just have one question.
because you're gonna be held liable as well as the board of supervisors. Yes, sir, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, I just know that they have to have a contract. They been verified? Because in one of our sessions at the convention, I verified, I actually, the facilitator, being a new supervisor, that we approve any payment or benefit without a contract, and he said, being a new supervisor, I would advise you to vote nay if you cannot see the contract, because Ms. McIntosh was in there and Stephanie was in there when I asked the question, and he said, make sure you verify it. If you don't, you're going to be held liable. And so that's the reason why I was voting no for those, not for everyone not being paid. I was voting only for the one that did not have a contract. That was the only thing I was doing, like we're doing those. If they're in there, any in there that don't have a contract, we need to pull it out before we can vote. Now, are there any in there, Ms. McIntosh?
No,
No.
none in there that reflects what you're talking about right now.
Okay. What about Joe Lee, the jail nurse, who they supposed to have a contract?
Doctor.
We have a contract.
Right.
They have
Yeah,
a contract.
yeah.
You're
Dr.
verified.
Dowell?
Okay,
Dr. Dowell is
I'm gonna
an
have a
employer.
packet.
okay,
We're getting that packet together for you.
okay,
But
all right.
we have that.
That's the only thing I wanted to know, because I wanted everybody else to be paid. I just, for instance, the next 4 years, you have a no new board to come in here. They need to know these things, because some things that we know, might, like you all might know, they won't even know it.
Right.
He was saying you must have them on file, just in case you don't have,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So that was the reason why I was concerned about that. No other reason for it, because I want everybody to be paid. Right. So
I'm with you.
if you satisfied,
There was one that came through that said they had a 25,000 annual contract on the invoice. I don't know who that was. I can't remember. But,
B.B. King Museum.
I don't know.
Not a contract, it's an appropriation.
Appropriation,
$25,000
okay, I
annual
understand.
contract. I don't know who it was.
It's appropriation. Somebody
It's the
missed,
museum.
somebody misprinted, it's a $25,000 annual appropriation.
Okay.
So I have a motion that we pay the claim doctor.
He
Can I
already
get a
did.
second?
Which time to vote?
Who second?
Didn't somebody second?
He stopped me for
I
discussion.
second. Okay.
Second by Ms. Dickinson. All in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, unanimously carried.
Thank you.
The hospital, well, it's got two bills. You got North Sunflower County Hospital and also that, that well, what's that other bank name, Bancorp? Some Bancorp, we need to find out.
That's a final payment, I just called my secretary, that's, negotiable note 2013A, $540,000.
That's one you're talking about, Denny.
That has to be the John Deere tractors.
Tractors
Yeah.
or
More stuff.
road graders or something,
That's
Okay.
3 years ago.
Let's
Yeah,
put that back
that's
in.
the tractors.
so that one's
That's supposed to be paid. Put it back in, where's it show? There it is showing. In Bancorp. Okay. What about the house? About that yet?
That's the George.
about what?
I mean, the bottom
North
of the
South
George.
Loudoun County
Oh, the
Hospital.
bottom one, the Georgia.
Well,
That-
that
I don't know about
That
it.
was on the track.
Oh, here it is.
We said
Well,
hold it out.
what this is it's due on August the 1st. We ought to approve the payment, which we did, but she needs to be certain that the money is in the bank. Billy always sends us the money. It's not due till August the 1st, but it'll be due before we meet again.
And I know what that note is saying, $3 million, but we, must note, so evidently,
Well, if he wants to pay it off early, he can pay it off early, but this is not a bill for paying it off. This is just a bill for the amount that's due on August the 1st. It says should be received by July 25, so
So
we just need to be sure they got the money in our account for this.
Right, we pulled it up. So we check it.
get all this out the way, we'll have to keep on.
That's two different things. You're trying to find out if they wanna pay it off. This ain't paying it off.
we're just paying the bill, the
If
note.
they wanna pay it off, they do that later, but they gotta pay this amount now.
Hmm.
We hold it those people up when you got the
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah. When I was asking, even though it's saying that, he had all that's why I was asking.
Well, she's not gonna do anything with it today. You find that out after we leave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have, two special guests with us today. Mr. Rice has been instrumental to the Minority Caucus Association of Supervisors in securing two grants to two students of Sunflower County. Mr. Rice know more about it than I do, and so at this time, for the press, I'm gonna let Mr. Rice introduce them, and he has a presentation to make to them. At this time, Mr. Rice, you got the floor.
At this time, I would like to announce that the Mississippi Association of Supervisors that's a part of the Mississippi Association of Supervisors. So this is a way that the Minority Caucus was looking out, trying to help individuals in the community. You're looking out to young people, trying to help them and give back to the community. So at that Minority Caucus meeting, they issued two $1,000 scholarships for two students from Gentry High School. They had to write an essay and they had to fill out an application. So I was in that meeting also with Ms. Dixon was in that meeting, and they issued these two scholarships. So I've always said, the word says, what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. So that's what we must, if you look out for God gonna make it, he's gonna look out for you. So at this point, two $1,000 scholarships from the Mississippi Association of Supervisors Minority Caucus to Renisha R. Johnson, Soteria Harrington. So at this time, I would like to present
Call the names again, Mr. Rice.
Renisha Johnson and Soteria Harrington. Miss Soteria Harrington and Miss Renisha Johnson. You have a $1,000 scholarship for you also.
Let's get him a hand, y'all. new friends, so since y'all have thousands of pieces.
Where y'all going to school?
Renisha Johnson's going to
Mississippi
Mississippi
State.
State. Matter of fact, she's going
And
to
where you
Good.
going?
Mississippi University.
Okay.
That's good.
Miss Johnson is my daughter, roommate
Come
at
here, let me
Mississippi.
get y'all.
Yeah. And their best friend.
I'm not gonna take it from you. I just want to be sure I got your name
And
right.
it's made out to them. They can spend it for whatever they want to. It's $1,000 made out for each one of them. I told them I should be a student this morning.
That's great. That's great.
Pardon me?
I want to get the correct spelling of it.
Okay,
That's cool.
That's great.
okay.
And the parents are with them. Miss Harrington's father is with her. And
Satiric.
Miss Johnson, mother is with her.
All
I
right.
won't get your name spelled right for our minutes.
Again, congratulations to y'all. Hope y'all have a
That's a
blessed future.
blessing.
And spend it wisely.
All right. That's a blessing.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I told Miss Johnson, again, she's my daughter's classmate. I think they
Yeah.
start school August
They
August
move
the
in
4th.
August 6th.
August
They
6th.
move in.
They
All
move in
right.
there. And I was telling them that when I was in college and they don't eat polished meat and Viennas, I said, I better stock up on them. The Roman noodles and stuff at late night, you're going to eat some, you're going to find out Vienna sausage are some good.
Concentration.
Okay.
Wow.
You're going to be a doctor.
She wants to be a heart doctor.
That's great.
A cardiologist?
I can't
Maybe.
hear.
Nursing.
A nurse.
Nice.
Nurse.
Wow.
Great.
Nurse and the doctor right together.
Very
I
wonderful.
think Sunflower County ought to be proud,
Yeah.
ought to
Should
be
be.
elated.
Yes.
The better way of saying it, to have two young Sunflower Countyans going off to two of
Yeah.
the best schools in the state of Mississippi. And our hats off to the parents also for
Yeah.
raising them and guiding them and making
Yeah.
provisions so they can go. Because some kids want to go but can't go. And then they go into some unique fields where they can come back and be a blessing to us. I hope they don't run off to Atlanta or Washington, D.C. Once they finish, they come back and be a blessing to the community.
Yes, yes.
Again, thank you all so much.
All right. All right. So I need my share later.
Thank you all so much.
All right.
Abraham, here we come. We're going to get some clothes from Abraham now.
Y'all said two of the best schools, because y'all didn't say the best schools. But y'all said two of the best.
I said two of the best,
Yeah, I
not,
know, but you didn't say the best school.
no, I didn't say the best. I said two of.
You got this place that.
Because,
Well, up in Oxford, they got this place too.
because Mississippi Valley State is a great school.
Yeah. Home.
Moorhead is a great school. Delta State is a great school. I just said two of the best.
All right, but
Ole Miss is a great school.
don't forget to have the
Who that?
school down there, all right?
All right. Mr. Rice, we have with us, one of the, coordinators of the Parkwood. And so Mr. Rice wanted us to consider a contract with them. She came and talked with us, a few months ago.
Yes, sir.
February, I believe, wasn't
Yes,
it?
sir.
Okay.
Your password. Mr.
Yes.
Holmes.
On the last week I talked with the sheriff, and the sheriff been snowed under with patients. They're trying to find room for them. So Ms. McIntosh had talked with her also, and on is approve the contract. But Ms. McIntosh can explain more to you. Oh, well, she can explain that Ms. McIntosh will control whatever goes on, whatever amount is paid. She will control it before the sheriff get anything done. It will come through Ms. McIntosh, and you can explain more about that, Ms. McIntosh. Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Do y'all have a copy of the contract, or you may
Yeah.
remember in the contract? What we do at Parkwood, we have 10 other contracts with 10 counties thus far in my area. Of course, you know, I'm from Indianola. I'm a Sunflower County, and so I'm trying to look out for the best of all the citizens. What we do with those 10 counties is that the Board of Supervisors, they allot so much money in those counties for indigent patients that does not have Medicare, does not have Medicaid, and that money is allotted each year to pay for court commitments that comes through the Chancery Clerk that needs to be placed. Now, sometimes, because Montgomery County last year went over a little allotted amount of money, they go back, because most of these contracts are anywhere from 8 to 10 years old. So, as you know, full moon, we may have more full moons sometimes. So sometimes they do have to go back and they do have to allot a little more money to finish out that year for the court commitments. But what we do is we have a contract with each one of these counties. And this contract will give the Chancery Clerk more choices to place. If they can't get their indigent patients into crisis, all of you here in this room know that the state closed the alcohol and drug for adults in Jackson, June the 30th, okay? They also closed AOP for children. So what that means is I've been getting calls as far as down as Natchez trying to get contracts with us. They have nowhere to put these adults. The crisis centers will not take clients that have alcohol and drug unless they have been detoxed. And that's what we do at Parkwood. We detox and we can treat. If they have insurance, we detox and we treat. And they stay there till a bed comes available at the state hospital, or our doctor feels like they're fine, they've been on their medicine, they've been here, they're doing okay. Okay, but if they don't have insurance and it is alcohol and drugs, and most of you know if it's alcohol and drugs, a lot of times there's another diagnosis going on, some reason why they're drinking and using drugs so much. We at Parkwood can use this contract to detox these adults at our facility, and once they're detoxed, they can be placed into the crisis centers or to another facility where there's no charge to you. And that's what I'm doing with the other counties, because actually I have a list in my office each time Carroll County, Montgomery County, Humphreys County sends a client to Parkwood, it'll have on the census sheet county contract. My responsibility as being the rep for these courts is I've been told that if they've been there 3 days, I have to contact the court to let them know, look, this patient's been there for 3 days, want to let you 2 weeks, and you get a large bill, okay? So I contact them after 3 days. It's 3 to 5 days to detox someone. And so if they're detoxed, then the court can be working on getting them right back to the crisis centers, and that's what we've been doing with the other counties, because I know all budgets are limited on how much funds they have to pay for this. So we just put that in place, and what I would do is I would call Miss McIntosh and say, so-and-so close to being detoxed, then they need to be calling the crisis centers or whatever to get them placed, or we can help implement that. That's what we do.
Ms. Robinson,
Uh-huh.
last time you came, we certainly, well, I certainly agree with this kind of service. But, you know, you said 3 to 5 days. What would it cost the county a day? That's the problem.
On the contract, but Mr. Donald, you got to remember, a psych hospital, you're getting a rate. If you get a medical surgical hospital, you're running around $1,500 a day. We're charging $600 a day, and that's just where we're not losing money. We're not making money, we're losing money. That's for the psychiatrist, that's for all the medications, that's for all of the therapy, that's for everything while they're there. And we were charging at one time $450, but that was years ago because things go up, medicine goes up. So we don't charge the court any more than what it costs Parkwood directly. You know where we make our money? Is if Miss McIntosh calls me and she has a Medicare client. We make money off of Medicare and private insurance. That's why we have these We put these in place to help you at the time of need, and then we're hoping that you're satisfied with what we're you, and she'll send us all of the ones that have insurance. That's where we make our money. We make zero money. A lot of people don't know. It sounds like a lot, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Let me ask you this here. And everybody jump in, or let me be asking all the questions.
Okay.
Who determines that that person is, have a need to go to Parkwood? Who would determine that?
Well, once they come into this court and you have a mother or you have a brother or a sister that signs wanting to court commit that person, then you have two doctors here and they have to, you can correct me, have two doctors, and then of course an order has to be done that they need to go into a psych hospital. Now if I get a call from Miss McIntosh Friday at lunch and two doctors cannot see this patient, they can come to us and we can do the two doctor signatures and get the psych eval and everything done at Parkwood by the mental health center there in DeSoto County. And we do that because a lot of times that does happen. And I know you're fairly new, but you will see a trend. When it gets close to the weekend, you're going to start getting those court commitments. And you can own 2 hours with just a court order. They cannot leave us. And we can do all the testing there if they don't have time to do it here.
And anybody that we do send to Parkwood would be there for a minimum of those 72 hours. So it would definitely cost the county $1,800. But those are the clients that we can control who we send. We try to get them in. Mary's here as well, and she used all the crisis centers around. We're talking about people who we just cannot send anywhere else. If they have Medicaid or private insurance, we can call them and they can go there for free. It won't cost us anything. But we're only talking about desperate people at desperate times.
Don't have any insurance, no Medicare. And you said the crisis center won't take them unless they're detoxed. Is that what did I hear
The
that?
alcohol and drugs,
On the
that is
alcohol and
correct.
drugs, they won't
That is
take 'em.
correct. I work very close with Life Help. Actually, we have 2 psychiatrists in.
So what do we do if they don't have insurance and they got alcohol and drugs?
They go to us if the contract's signed.
If
they-
the contract's
if
signed,
the
where do they
contract's
go if we
signed,
don't
right.
do this contract? Who
They might go to the hospitals, and out of guard, this past week I had to provide a male guard, a female guard, 24 hours a day, and it costs us either way, but like I said, and we just had so many of these type cases last week, we got overwhelmed. I think everybody did.
Let me ask you
The hot
something,
weather.
Didn't we provide, don't you have a budget for that though? For the guards, for the lunacy guards?
I don't know if we still, I thought we took it out last year.
That's in there. Look, can I
But
say something?
it just costs.
We kicked this can down the road for years now. I'd like to see us sign the contract, but I want us to pursue every avenue that we can before we call Parkwood. I mean, and these people need help, and we can't just keep them held up in the jail. That's against the law. And we can't afford to house them at the local hospital, which they aren't supposed to be there to begin with. And if we can't, and the state's making cuts on everything, we need the contract. But I'm not, just cause we got it, don't mean we gotta use it.
That's right.
We need to pursue everything that we can before we send somebody there.
And I think they are, but what the problem was that they had some that had to be detoxed.
Yeah.
And that where the problem started. And in fact, we still have an individual out there at the hospital right now we're going that they will be out of there. But, 2 people for, these amount of days, the cost and for its manpower to guard them, hospital costs, treatments that they are getting out there and stuff. Probably, maybe cheap.
Most of the people you see that have a problem what you're talking about that go to a mental health center, they're already on SSI, some, aren't
Yeah,
they?
a lot of
Mhm.
So why would it cost the county
It's not gonna cost.
It
$600 a day?
It wouldn't
It- it's not gonna cost.
No, I'm
Not if
asking-
that, not if
Ms.
they're,
Lawson, what I'm saying, you said for the first 3 days, then after the 3 days, you can get them in you're guaranteed they go to a crisis center, right?
I don't guarantee they can go to
Okay.
crisis center.
If it's
'cause
an
I-
opening somewhere.
If there's an opening at the crisis center.
So all we be paying $1,800 for you to keep them 3 days and turn them back loose on the street. That's the only problem I got.
No, no, we wouldn't turn them on the street. We cannot turn anybody loose unless we get an order from Miss McIntosh to release them
But
to the deputy.
But the county, the county can't sit there and pay for you to keep them 10 days. That'll be $6,000.
That is correct. That's why I say I contact her and they'd be looking for another placement, but to detox takes 3 to 5 days to detox. Most of the time it's 3 or 4 days is what we're seeing with the other counties. Okay, and one thing that we did to get, so I can put everything in perspective, is we came in a couple of weeks ago, brought a laptop computer, and we set up telecourt. We did this with all my chancery courts. That is, if you have a patient at Parkwood that didn't get over to see the 2 doctors or something, and we're doing everything at Parkwood, whether they got insurance or they're indigent, it doesn't matter. He does not have to send anybody to Parkwood to pick them up to bring them back to court. What we have set up a system at Parkwood with this laptop that, and Miss Hart and Miss McIntosh knows how to use it. You just go in, there's a couple of clicks, and Parkwood is right there with the therapist and the patient, and everything is done with the judge on this laptop. We're trying to find ways that we can save cost for the counties because, there's other costs. And running up and down to pick people up for court is not going to be one of your costs anymore. Right here on the laptop. They've already been trained. So that's one thing that we did put in place.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Is, when you put somebody in detox for 3 to 4 days, and they have Medicaid or Medicare, does Medicaid or Medicare pay for detox?
Medicare pays 100%. There's no cost to the court
For detox?
for detox. For like I said, 99 point. I'm a nurse. Hey, I graduated from Mississippi University for Women. I heard that you gave her. Y'all done good. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. I had my mind on her.
Medicare,
See, come out
Yes.
Medicare.
Medicaid, if they have Medicaid and Medicare together, they pay 100%. They have Medicare, 100%. If they have private insurance, 100%. Medicaid, 20 and under, 100%. If they have Medicaid over 20, right now, Parkwood cannot accept
20
them.
years old?
20 years old and older until January the 1st.
You can't take them.
Until January the 1st. But we
No, they
have.
can take them. It's just Medicaid won't pay for it.
Yeah, but you have to, we're owned by Universal Health Systems, who owns Brentwood, Alliance, and other facilities. And Alliance takes adult Medicaid and they take court commitments. So what I do is I work close with the court, and if I can't take them, tell them where they can send them. That does it. It's not like you call me, well, I'm sorry, I can't take them, and that's it. It's like I told Miss Hart, you call me if you have a problem, or if you call Parkwood and they don't accept them. But everybody that goes into Parkwood has to be medically stable. They cannot have a 500, their diabetes, their blood sugar be 500, or their blood pressure be 300 over 150. They have to be medically stable in order to go into our hospital. And that's the way it's supposed to be in most hospitals, unless it's a med-surg, okay? And if a doctor at Parkwood has a concern, if they're a diabetic, they may ask you to have the blood sugar checked. That's what happened. And we checked it and it was fine, and they took them. So we just want to make sure that we don't have to go on ahead and take them in Parkwood, one of your indigent ones, and then when they get to us, they're not stable and they have to go next door to a med surge and then you get a bill. So that's one reason why we make sure they're all stable before they get to us, medically stable.
I don't help. I'm like Dennis and like Mr. Rice. I want to help every individual I can, especially if they have mental. I'm lost on if they are indigent, as you would say.
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10 that the ending is going to be on SSI.
I don't know.
I didn't say 10 out of 10. I said 9 times out of 10. If I'm not talking about one-time occurrence, I'm talking about a person that has a repeated occurrence. You trying to tell me they're not getting some kind of
No.
Social Security?
No, sir, some of them don't, because I deal with it every day. You would not believe.
Why not?
Well, they've been, they're handling their own affairs, you know.
I mean, I'm trying to find this out before I make a vote on something, because I don't want, listen, I don't want the county to end up here with a $20,000 and $30,000 bill every month. That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Donald.
Let me finish. Because, no, I asked the question, so it'll be out there on the table. If you're saying most of them don't, and they come in here and y'all put them at Parkwood, and we end up with a $30,000 or $40,000 bill every month, you're not gonna be able to pay that. You don't have the budget for it. Is that Mary, what you were saying?
Yeah, I have Mary in here, she have.
And like you said, they're not gonna have anything. The last people that we've been getting, unfortunately, Mr. Donald, they haven't been having anything. The reason being, because a lot of them taking care of their business that they need to be, because they have the Medicaid permit and the permit, you know, at the Medicare office, but they don't attend them because most of them, I found out in the last survey that I did on the last patient that we had, they was payee over their own checks. So therefore, they was getting the mail to go get their benefits turned on, and they failed to do it. So what I do when the family member come in, I instantly have them to call the Medicaid office to see are they active. Instantly go on to the Medicaid office and get their benefits turned back on. Because a lot of times, a lot of these patients, they be out, they be walking, they be wandering, and they're not taking care of what they need to take care of. So when they come to us, it's an emergency situation, and they don't have anywhere else to go, but they have the benefits, but they are not inactive. They're not active enough for them to go to the hospital.
This is over 20 or under 20 you talking about?
This is 20, 30, 40, and on.
But they don't qualify for Medicaid anyway, do they?
But if you have a history of mental illness, benefits.
Okay,
You
again,
can
the
get
SSI.
that, you can get that Medicaid.
That's right.
I
That's
tell you,
right.
you can
But
get
the
the Medicaid.
majority of them that come through, I've seen a few of them, they had SSI and stuff, they're getting the check every month.
Yeah.
But y'all may not be aware of that, but a few of them are.
But see, the first thing that I ask when they come, like I got somebody on their way right now, when they come, I find out about their insurance. That's why the board is controllable, because we find out what the insurance is, and if I can't find out if it's active or inactive, I call Miss Sheila. She instantly run the number, their social security number, to find out, you know, if it's helpful. You know, can we go ahead and get this person in a facility so they can be served? But a lot of times, the sheriff, you know, I called him, we got a patient out on 448 wondering. She could've got hit by 18-wheeler. I didn't have time to find out where did she have any insurance or whatever. So I had to instantly get this patient to the hospital. And once she got in the hospital, then we found out that her service was inactive. And the judge did an order.
Can I ask
But
you
you're
this then?
supposed to do that. We've been doing that.
Once
Go
it
ahead.
gets reactivated or current is reinstated, they can go the next day to some facility.
Yes, sir. As long as they're been detoxed. Because
Right.
what had happened with these two patients that's at the hospital, they had alcohol in their system, and none of the crisis center would take them. They said that they had to be detoxed. So we have a guy that's there now. His last day is today, so he'll be able to transfer out to the CAP center. But if they have their alcohol in their system, because a lot of them, they can't treat the mental health until they get the alcohol under control. So that's why Ms. Robertson was talking about getting them detox.
You wanna send somebody to a crisis center. Let's say he's detoxed. He just got problems. How long does it take you to get him in there?
It don't take me no time.
I mean, are the crisis centers, they got room, they're funded, they're up and running, they're okay?
Yeah,
They
if I
are,
call
if they got,
There was a big gap.
if
That's
they
why I
got
was
beds,
worried.
If they got beds, they'll take them.
that's the
And
thing.
then-
Well, I
if they
understand, but
don't have
how
it-
often do they not have beds?
Well, it has happened, believe me, because we have gotten calls from counties that do use the crisis centers, but then they get full and they call us and use their contracts. But one thing that I wanted the board to know is last week, I saw a child and she had no insurance, okay? She had no insurance. She had just moved over here from Arkansas. She had a threat she was gonna kill her grandmother. She was living with her grandmother. So I went over to Life Help and I done the screening and everything. And the grandmother said, well, I've already applied for Medicaid, so she should be getting it. Okay, we run the Medicaid number, and of course, there was no Medicaid. So what I did is I called the Medicaid office in Cleveland and talked to the case manager. And the case manager said, everything's been done, we're just waiting for her to be approved. So we took her on a pending Medicaid. But there's a process where case manager or a therapist at Parkwood, and we put the case manager's name and a number and everything, and we put pending, and we took the child in. What else would we done here in Sunflower County? And this girl had written it, was going to do it. They would have had to come. They were fixing to come over here and do a court commitment. So where would you put a 13-year-old? That don't happen very often, but her insurance was pending, so I was able to get her in. So that can still go with adults if it's pending. And if we have the case manager's name and the phone number and the town, and see if it's going to be active.
But in time past, Johnny, we've sent people to Parkwood.
We have,
You
and I
do,
think there's
you do.
definitely a need for what I'm trying.
But
There's a
not
need.
indigent.
That was great. I'm glad you were there. That's wonderful. And there are times when we're gonna have an emergency and you've gotta send somebody
That is
there.
correct.
What I wanna know is, how, the state of Mississippi is supposed to take them all. I mean, the state of Mississippi is supposed to handle but they don't do it.
Do you know what I was told by
I
a
mean, they're
senator?
telling you they won't do it unless they're
They just
detoxed.
cut it last month.
The
It's
state
Chancery
doesn't have a
Clerk. Go to
detox
Chancery
center.
Clerk. They're saying go to your Chancery Clerk.
But as soon as they
They
do
just
get
cut it last
detoxed,
month.
you're having success in getting them in immediately.
Immediately.
But they don't go to Whitfield anymore.
Well-
Recently,
Or
Whitfield
East
has
Mississippi.
been
Whitfield ain't gonna have the beds.
You know.
They don't have the
taken
beds.
They're not
3
gonna have
from
the
us.
beds.
This past week, they have taken 3 from us.
And they don't take alcohol and drug mails anymore.
Well, that's
And you
what
know how many
that's what
alcohol
I'm
and
getting
drugs
at
we
is,
got?
the state of Mississippi is passing off its obligations.
Yes,
Been for
cutting
years.
costs and
And
putting
we
it
don't-
on the
And we don't
county.
have the money to pay it
That is correct.
on a long-term basis.
But Mr. Donald, you wouldn't have a $60,000 bill a month if me and Miss McIntosh and Miss Hart, if we do, like we said, I write down whoever goes into Parkwood and how long they've been there. Only time you're gonna be charged is when they approve. That's the only time.
You know, Miss Robinson, I guess it sounds like I'm against it, but I'm not against it. I just want us to be cognizant of
It's gonna cost.
what we're involved in, so that we won't get out there and get stuck on a limb and don't know how to get back
Yes, sir.
to the tree. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I understand.
I'm an advocate for one of my dreams. Why I want to be a millionaire, so that I can build a homeless shelter. That you asking about our pastor. That's my biggest dream. I want to be a millionaire, because I believe that we who are Christians supposed to take the outdoors in. We're supposed to help the mentally ill and sick. That's our obligation. But as a county supervisor, I want to make sure how we can pay for, you know what I'm saying, what we're about to do. That's the only thing I'm
We
doing.
can always get out of the contract.
I'm in agreement with it.
Well, it's not
Well,
getting
it's got
out,
a
you
double-
just don't
it's got a
call.
double A.
Don't,
You
you
just
don't
don't
call
call.
Parkwood, you don't call,
Or
you're
you
not
can
charged.
terminate it in 30 days.
Really?
But-
Really, what it,
If you're not gonna call them, ain't no sense in signing in on.
We've
But really-
exhausted all other
Like buying a car,
avenues.
won't buy.
Once we've exhausted all other
Then you
avenues,
call.
and then we have to, we can kind of control
yeah.
That is
the amount
correct.
of funds
That is correct.
that we
See.
send.
It gives
But
them an
sometimes-
alternative.
Exactly. Sometimes we
That's
don't
what we
have
are.
to use Parkwood. And if we do, it will cost us a minimum of $1,800.
And the board may not be aware of this, and I won't say a whole lot about it, but we're in the process in the next couple of years, we're going in with another company, and hopefully there's gonna be a hospital, built out here to house adults on 448. But, if that's the case, and I'm all for it, is that will work, they'll live there, and then Parkwood will put on the second floor a psych unit where we can treat right here in the surrounding areas instead of going to Olive Branch. Now, that's what we're working on, but I can't go any further than that. So we are trying to do more in the communities, you know.
Well, how much did it cost?
Hello?
Well, how much did it cost for Florida County that patient? They had,
Well, the patient that we had in LaFleur County, unfortunately, the family member.
yeah,
took
but
it.
it was,
County didn't.
yeah, we're
So,
talking
yeah,
about another bill
Well,
where-
one
where-
county had a $60,000 bill from a hospital,
Okay, look, I'm in the meeting.
all right, on one patient. And I was told it was Greenwood LaFleur. Okay, how long can you keep patients in Parkwood for $60,000 and be treated?
100 days.
100 days.
Ooh.
There you go.
But if what is
We're not
But we don't wanna
near.
do that.
No, man,
We
sir.
can't afford to do
I mean,
that.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying.
I'm at the point where I'm like Dennis, I think perhaps I ought to go on and sign it, that just to have an alternative.
That's
But
all
the
it
real
is.
All
problem
of
is the
us in
state of
agreement on signing
Mississippi
it.
doesn't have
Let's
the bids.
vote then.
And they're supposed to have the
You
bids.
just don't,
You made the
you
motion?
don't just vote on something, you
And-
have to talk with the.
And it's really a
people
problem
can know what
because
we
don't
get
forget,
involved
I
with.
still have that
You represent
individual
citizens now.
that is supposed to go to Whitfield, that has been ordered by a judge that he can't stand trial, to go to Whitfield. And I've had this guy, 3 years now? 3 years. I had another one that was there so long, the judge just sent him home. You know
Good
what?
scenario. So what would you do if he was in Parkwood?
Huh? He wouldn't be in Parkwood. He been a judge has not been able to stand trial, so he is sentenced and ordered to Whitfield. He's
But
not
you-
in Whitfield. But they won't take him. They won't take him
Why you still have him there?
because
Okay.
I've tried to get him. I have tried to get him
Judge
out.
ordered you to keep him?
Yes, he's ordered in my custody.
A mental health person? Thank you.
Well, he was, had a criminal charge, but he was a judge that had to be unable to stand
Okay.
trial.
Have a motion that we.
Let me say this.
Okay.
What it's all gonna amount to is managing the system. If you can manage, it's gonna be left with Ms. McIntosh, the sheriff, and yeah, it's gonna be left up to them to manage it. See, if you manage it, you can handle it, but you have to manage it. See, you have to decide whether this person gonna go to Parkwood. See, so we'll leave it up to them to manage the system. See, if they can manage the system, then it'll be all right. Because see, they have other hospitals, like you said. If Parkwood don't take them, can't take them, they have other facilities that they can send them to. See, I know the hospital. Last time I heard, the hospital at Dixbury, I carried one patient down there myself, and she had Medicare, and they kept her 2 weeks with no charge.
Yeah.
See, so they have other, not only Parkwood. See,
I've taken
that's
somebody
it.
to
Only thing is,
Parkwood. I took somebody to Parkwood, but they had Blue Cross Blue Shield.
yeah,
And it cost the county nothing.
Mhm.
I took
That's
them
right.
there.
yeah.
And Medicare, all private insurance, there's zero charge. The only charge it is if they have no insurance.
Okay, I asked Ms. McIntosh to ask this,
Let's vote.
but go, Ms. McIntosh.
The fee still be $600 a day?
Yes, ma'am.
But we'll lose the benefits of the transportation and the.
Well,
No, they ain't gonna come pick them up for you.
yeah.
They will.
Let me just tell you this. I have 10 other counties that have contracts. I'm gonna take the people that's got the contracts. If you call and you've got someone, but I've got other calls coming in, we don't have a contract, we're gonna take the ones that where we have a contract, because you know why? We know we're gonna get that patient, we know we're gonna get paid, okay?
That's right.
And we have
That's the
250
purpose of the
people that are
contract.
there, that work at Parkwood that has to be paid.
Yeah,
That's the purpose of the contract.
Now, Mr. Donald, one more thing I'd like to say into the sheriff. By law, if the Parkwood is not allowed to transport, but if a patient comes in or a family member comes in and sees Miss Hart or Miss McIntosh, and they're not gonna be court committed, but they are seriously mental health, off their meds, whatever, Parkwood will transport. We have a transportation company in Greenville and Clarksdale. We will transport the client to Parkwood. Now, also the court, if they have a court commitment and they want this person to go in, this just happened in another county, he was 25 and the parents wanted to take him, that can happen if the court doesn't order that the parents can transport to Parkwood.
Let me say this, I don't think, Johnny, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the county can pay for it except it's court committed. I don't think you just come up here and somebody said Ms. McIntyre sent in Parkwood, she sent in Parkwood, we have to have a hearing, what we call them, with Jimmy's one
It's
of
a
them.
lunacy hearing.
Yeah, you have to have.
They do voluntary.
Yeah,
meetings
voluntary.
All the time.
All the time,
I had a
yeah.
guy to come in here the other week and he was just willing to assist. I got the intake officer on the phone and they said, okay, Mary, you can go ahead on, send him in. And I think, Sheriff, did I get you to transport that guy?
Yes,
to
ma'am.
Jackson?
That ain't what
But
I'm
you got
asking.
some kind of a
I'm
court
saying
order
you
or
got
something
for
from the.
Sunflower County to pay for it.
No, this place that this guy was going, didn't charge anything. He didn't have
That's if
nobody.
they're court committed. I understand what you're
nobody.
saying.
Y'all missed the whole point. I said for Sunflower County to pay for it. It has to be a court order on it. You talking
Yes,
about
sir.
something that's not costing it.
Yeah.
But for Sunflower County to pay for it,
Yes,
has to be
sir.
a court order on it.
Yes,
And then
sir.
you know you're gonna get your 6 on that. Your
Yes,
court
sir.
order is your contract.
Yes,
But
sir.
let's go on and do it like we want to be done. Have a motion by Dennis Holmes,
Second.
second by Ms. Dickens, all in favor? It's not carried.
But if they're like that, the county would
Kev, the
yes.
point is, you still gonna have to take them up there.
Yeah, but I mean,
Okay.
court order, yes, but if they wanna volunteer, you know, that,
Well,
that.
it won't be a problem with the
Yeah.
county. County ain't gonna pay for it no way
Yeah.
if they
That's right,
volunteer.
that's right.
But,
they got some-
and that, what we have had in some cases where people don't know that they can voluntarily go, and so they come up and they get, they go through the system when they don't really understand what to do. You know, we ran across cases like that, and
They don't understand.
they don't understand the
They don't.
system, so they come in and think that they had to get a court commitment, because people are coming to us all the time, I need help, what can I do? And I'm learning this whole new way of doing things too.
But still, when they come, you say they need help for Sunflower County to pay for it, you're gonna have to have court
And-
documents. And
Yeah.
for you to
Mhm.
transport
I know
them.
And what I'm saying is, we're taking Sunflower County out the mix in some instances on drug addiction by telling them that they can voluntarily go themselves and do this without coming to court and getting us charged, getting the county charged.
And I feel free, you can always give them my
Uh.
phone number. I mean, I live 5 minutes from here,
Where's the
So-
contract?
you know.
We need to execute it now, Johnny. Do we need to execute it?
Page 5 in our
Yeah, I
handout.
know, I was talking the one for, this is for our keep, I was talking for the sign. So Johnny has to review it and all that.
I've looked at it.
And I have
It's
to
fine.
send it to Parkwood.
Just tell you, we had one fellow to say that he needed to go somewhere.
Me.
So, and we couldn't transport him, so somebody got back to our county, and all of a sudden he became our responsibility.
Well, even if they had, I think they passed a law several years ago, didn't it, Johnny? If they had taken him in like, say, Hines County, and he was a resident of Sunflower County,
Yes.
we're still responsible.
Still
Yes, sir.
responsible.
That
That's
is
right.
correct.
Still responsible.
All right.
And y'all have my card, if you have any more
Yes, ma'am.
questions, you know, feel free to call me. And
Yeah.
Everything is,
I just
everything is
hope
fine with
nobody-
me, 'cause I believe in this, I just trying to make sure that Sunflower County, see, we've been watched by hundreds of people on that live stream in the newspaper. If we don't ask these questions in this
Right.
boardroom,
Mhm.
the citizens won't know, and we represent the citizens,
That is correct. I agree.
okay?
You should
Yeah.
know.
So
And-
you solve a lot of problems, a lot of questions by asking them right here so they can hear them.
Right.
Let's be your patient.
See, and reason,
I have that.
one reason
Robert, we
why,
appreciate you.
Thank
one reason why I know quite a bit about this is because I have a brother that's in life here, and I've been through all of that before. I've never caused he been in life here for 30-some years, and I had never cost the county a dime because I managed it. See, I carried him wherever he needed to go, but I still had to come through the chancellor clerk's office.
Yeah.
See, but I was the one to carry him. See,
Thank you, Mr.
and I managed
Bowman.
it well.
Thank
That's
you.
on the
Good to
agenda.
see you.
Yeah.
She has a copy for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next thing on agenda, county engineer.
County
He
engineer.
said that he was not gonna be able to be here this morning. He wants to know if he could come in at 2:00. Ron.
He said if we needed him, he'll be here at 2, but he said he had nothing to discuss.
Okay, we good.
I don't think we need you.
Mm.
Road managers,
Roll call.
how y'all?
Good morning, good
gentlemen
morning,
doing
everyone.
For y'all stuff. What decision did we make on Pratt Place Road? That
I
ditch?
talked with John Stratton, we went down and looked at it. It needs to be, the ditch needs to be cleaned out. It's not all the way because it opens up, we roll down in there and look. But at the road itself, we need to change that culvert out. That culvert's too small. That's part of the problem right there. It's just now, it won't take that water.
But we're gonna see, last time we didn't take it all the way, that's why it started filtering back in.
Oh, okay.
We need to go all the way to where it's clean.
Okay.
Our track hole does not have the capability really to do that.
Well,
work.
he's working on getting me a price for that.
Okay.
He called me yesterday, matter of fact. And, so I'll get back with him today and, just tell him we want to.
Board, since this is a special thing, it is flooding in District 1. Pratt Place Road, who used to be called Mound Road, but we straightened it out. For E911 purposes, it's called Pratt Place Road. Mr. Koneski, called me and I rode down there and we got in truck and rolled together. And when they're irrigating or when it's raining, when it's not even raining, they're irrigating those fields. The water's supposed to travel south and then east. But when they start to traveling east, that ditch is just clogged up. It is backing all the way back and flooding the road out. And it's a potential problem for travelers. And since our track hole can't do it, and it's a ditch, it can't come out of the bridge fund because it's a ditch. I'm asking, I guess, permission of the board that we back with Crawford
Crawford
to do this work for us. And using 2006, I believe.
Okay.
Something like that. It lasts a while because he goes in there, he has the right thing, clean it, smooth out, level back, and the farmers always let us put the extra dirt on their banks where we won't have to be traveling, hauling off, and they make a levee out of it. But over the years, stuff slips out, and when we do that, Kirby, if the board agrees, we do it. When we do that, we're gonna do it because if y'all don't say do it, we have to get in our track hole. And it's just, but we need to clean that ditch out on Pratt Place also.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Crawford and why Crawford?
Crawford,
He has
he
a-
has the
They
bidding
got an
contract.
annual supply bid.
He has to be.
Yeah. We just can't pick up and use anybody. Once a year we do a bid contract,
Okay.
and those who win is the one we use. Lives in Dennis Home District.
So we need them all.
He's doing some work for me too. I mean, personally, I'll make a motion. I don't think do we need a motion?
You really don't unless you want it on the record.
The reason I want it on the record is
The
because
road managers,
Yes, I mean, well, like I said, we were talking about him being on that annual bid sheet. I mean,
Yeah.
we just needed to get a price from from what we were gonna, what we were asking. Me and Mr. Don had talked to it all the way out to where I guess the creek or river, whatever.
well,
it is.
whatever he say.
Yeah.
Look,
Because like I said, we rode in there and it drops off well because the farmers on that north side they're irrigating, and all of that water goes in there, and where
Yeah.
it goes in, and it's taken
The
off.
north side is Robinson.
Mhm.
The south side is Mr.
Mr.
Brumfield.
Brumfield.
Okay, so just check with those two.
Okay.
And see how, they're the one gonna benefit their
Yeah.
crops and everything. When they're the one gonna be irrigating, that's gonna be putting all the water in the road, so.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a natural drainage,
Mhm.
so it's county responsibility to my knowledge.
We'll do it. But,
Okay, he said we don't need no board on it, but I wanted the board to be aware
okay.
of why Kirby using this guy to do
Mr.
this.
yeah,
If
Mr.
our track, when we get a new one, we'll be able to do it ourselves.
Thank you.
All right, anything else, Roland?
I
Yeah,
think
do
you
that
all are supposed to
report.
receive our monthly report.
I make a motion, we report.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? Motion carried.
I got two things,
Go
if you
ahead.
don't mind. I want to tell the whole board, but I want the road managers to know too. We need, the small private lanes, private drive roads. It's got several houses down it. And the, dead end roads, it's got, might be 5 houses in it, they might be blacktop. There's no farm machinery going up and down, and the roads are in terrible shape because of the garbage truck. When you go past Carrollton up Valley Hill, you see garbage cans out on the highway, and people bring their garbage to the road. These private drives, and Glenn's already got one of his roads like it. We need to get Ron, he's not here today, but he's supposed to be getting the total miles of dead end roads and the private drives and lanes. I think we need to look at it from the standpoint, the garbage bills would probably be cheaper because they wouldn't be going down these drives, picking up 5 garbage cans, extra mile and a
Or
half,
one garbage
or
can.
one garbage can, tearing up the roads. We wouldn't be out patching them every time we turn around with the heavy garbage trucks.
Dennis, I want to concur with you on that. I brought it to the board last year.
Supposed to
You
go
did.
into private.
I brought it to the board last year, and I'm gonna say this. Now, we may antagonize some residents, but I imagine a lot of things we do antagonize some residents and some citizens. But it benefit, as Dennis said, it's gonna benefit us road-wise. Just like last week and week before last, as hot as it was, those DVST roads are melting, the tar melt. And when you send a garbage truck down one of those roads, it do deep trench in it. And so when wintertime comes, when it rains, that water sits there and they still got to go back there. Then you have to replace that road almost every year. Now, what I did, I set up a post on, is it East Kell?
Paxton.
East Paxton. I set up a post on East Paxton. And what I did, here's the county ditch here. I put a culvert in that ditch, okay? And I put a drive right there. And we got a barricade around where the people come and put their garbage cans right there. And this is Highway 49. This East Paxton. So what the people do, what they should do, but number 1 or 2 people do, is come bring the garbage can right there, okay? And the garbage truck turn in right here, pick up the garbage, turn back around, go back where it's going. And our roads are safe. Our roads are safe. Now, if you go to Mississippi State or Tuscaloosa, Alabama, all down Highway 82, you see all these garbage cans sitting on the highway. They sitting on the highway because they don't want the garbage truck back in their nice road neighborhood tearing up. East Moorhead just built 7 years ago. And it's torn up now. Pretty blacktop road. It's torn to pieces. The garbage truck. Regular cars didn't do that. The garbage truck. So
So what are you suggesting that
I'm
they?
suggesting that we designate that you bring your garbage to the end. I don't know, Johnny got to tell the legal ramifications, can we designate? Because that's all for the garbage truck going. That's just on dead end
Exactly.
road and private drive.
Well, on a private drive, I don't think the garbage truck's supposed to go down in any way. I mean, you're supposed to bring, the ordinance that we have, the contract that you will put your garbage on the road right way, on the street. Be the same thing as saying, well, okay, I'm in the city, but
In
they
the
gonna go
driveway.
to the back of my house and pick my garbage up so that I don't have to bring it to the street? No, I'm supposed to bring it to the street. So on a private drive, they're never supposed to go down there anyway, but we're not supposed to be keeping them up.
That's true.
So, that doesn't matter. The question is, on a public road, which Paxton is a public road, can we require that they get that garbage can? So I don't know how far that might be. That may be 2 or 3 miles for somebody.
On the public road. We can go down the public road.
Yeah, you can go, and then that's what he's saying is that the weight of the garbage truck, once he's public road, if he drives down there on that public road, he tears it up. So what he's thinking is, put a spot to put these garbage cans up at the where the intersection of the public road is with the highway, which is heavy enough to hold that truck.
Yeah.
Now, if
Carpenter
you got-
Road.
But I mean, you're gonna have a lot of people who are not gonna wanna do that. If they live on the far end of the road,
And it's a public road. they
and may
gonna
not
do
be
that.
able to.
Now, if you have
I don't
50,
know.
if you got 50 houses down there, then you would have to let the garbage truck go down there. We're talking about tearing up the road for 2 and 3 or 4 houses. Now, some counties, or some people, I'm gonna say the county, they have an attachment that you put right on the tailgate of the truck, right on the bumper. And you lay that garbage can got a hitch on it. You lay that garbage can on there and you pull it out to the thing. Now, our road managers, when they don't pick up the garbage, we go pick it up and go dump it, right?
Have done
Direct
it.
Todd? Correct?
They have done it.
We have to, cause people come right in here and the garbage got missed for about 3 weeks or so. Well, we had to go and dump that garbage. I don't see nothing wrong with us pulling the garbage can up to the spot.
I mean, our road manager's pulling the garbage can.
System manager, road manager, whatever. Yeah, we're talking about 3 or 4 houses.
Mhm.
We're not talking for 50 houses or nothing like that.
Yeah, well, I mean.
Most of the time, you're not gonna have no more than 3 or 4 houses on a dead end road.
Yeah, that'll work. But requiring my garbage to the front, that wouldn't go well with me. So, the part, but then the road manager go get it, that sounds better.
I'm not for that.
Well, then.
It needs to be legitimate. I mean,
Yeah.
we can't go get everybody's garbage.
No.
But if they're not able,
I'm talking
I
about.
mean,
I don't mind helping people.
somebody disabled, something.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was
I'm
one
talking
lady,
about, just
that lady that was
don't
on
have
East
a
Paxton.
vehicle. There's
Yeah,
a
some
one
people
lady we
don't
went
have
and
a
got her
vehicle.
garbage.
Yeah.
She's in wheelchair. Okay.
And she actually passed, her daughter called me, she was cleaning out the house. Yeah, but I did that for her a couple of times, I went and got it, because of the fact she had no way to move it, and I did it for her a couple of times.
You know, it's 6 eggs in one hand and half a dozen eggs in the other hand. You got pros and cons of it.
Yeah.
But when you spend on a mile road, you're gonna spend about $30,000 to $40,000 DBST, and a tank of tar costs you $12,000, right? You're gonna spend about $20,000 worth of gravel when you put 2 levels on it, and building your shoulder. Actually, build your shoulders up, you'll save the road some too. But it's whatever the board decides. It's just an idea. I brought it last year, then it's bringing it back up again. Able-bodied people can bring their own up.
Well, I don't know that you can do that. I mean, I don't.
Oh yeah,
No,
you
how
can
gonna
say.
require some people to bring theirs and not require other people to bring theirs? I mean, if someone came to me and I'm out in the country and you never picking up my trash can, I'm gonna call somebody, so they're not coming to pick up my trash.
We will be picking up your trash at the trash bin.
But I can't get it to the bin.
Well, we got some situation where
See,
some. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Glenn. Most people leave their garbage can, like up in the hills, they leave it on the end of the road
And they
next
bring the bag and
next
dump
to the main road. And then, like when they got plastic containers at their home, plastic bags, they throw them in the back of the pickup, the back of the car, and when they come out, going somewhere, they just
leave
throw those over
in
in
there, yeah.
the regular big blue garbage can. So it's not like they just keeping the big can at home. They gonna leave it stationary, or either the ones that wanna bring it once a week down there do. One's on East Paxton, 'cause I know a guy that lives on it, and they just throw the garbage over in the back of the pickup, and when he comes out, he puts it in the garbage can.
You're not supposed. Some companies require you don't put loose garbage, you gotta have bags.
Yeah.
Some
Well,
companies-
he's saying he got it in a bag, but he puts it over into the
I
plastic.
understand, I'm agreeing with Dennis because some companies require that you put your garbage in their container in bags. You don't
Yeah.
just come throw no bunch of food and stuff down up in their garbage without being in bags. It's, I don't know.
Can
But
we
I
check
believe
into
it.
the legality? What do we need to do, Johnny?
Yeah, that's the question to me is, you're obviously gonna have people who gonna be treated differently. But there may be, it's all right to treat somebody differently if there's a reason for it. I mean, in other words, I'm not treating you differently just because I don't like you. I'm treating you differently because you live on a certain road that won't bear a certain amount of weight. Now, I don't know if we can figure out how to
Well, let me say it like this.
set our
Other
ordinance.
counties are doing it, and it's successful. In the wintertime, County Line Road, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Fish Pond Road. Pond, just called
Pond.
Fish Pond Road. In the wintertime, the mail lady and the school bus driver wear me out and wear Kirby out. Because when the garbage truck go through there in November and December and January, by December, the middle of December, she cannot get her school bus down there to pick up the kids. Okay? The mail lady says, I just didn't deliver their mail. I said, why? I can't get down there. You can't fix a road in the wintertime, a gravel road. You can't fix it. All you do is go waste some money putting some big wash gravel in there that's gonna sink down into the thing. And no matter how you fix it in the summertime, okay, if you got too much weight on it, when the base gets soft, it's gonna sink. Okay,
A good idea because I believe that if you talk to the citizens that live on those roads and explain it to them, because they could be complaining about the roads are torn up. But I believe if you explain it to each one of those residents on that road, they will understand that they need to bring it up there and maybe put it at the end of the road. I believe that they'll understand that, because if someone come to me and tell me that I need to bring my garbage up to the road and because it's tearing up the road, then I would understand that, because you wouldn't have to be come back trying to fix the road for me. See, but I believe that if you explain it to each citizen down those roads, they will abide by it.
But Johnny's gonna look into it. We're gonna table it until Johnny looks into the legalities of it and make sure we can do it without being.
Johnny, contact Carroll County, see how they got theirs set up.
So we won't be in no trouble. Ms. Dixon, I agree with you, because there's a lot of people who feel the same way you feel about it. Okay, now, what else, road managers?
Oh, that's it.
Did we get all our FEMA sites?
Yeah, we're still, I
We
think
turn-
we had a couple of things in, but overall,
Have we
yes.
turned it? The reason I'm asking this, our money, until we've completed our report. Now watch this. We spend by over a quarter to half our money now, our budget, doing the extra, at least a quarter of it. So here it is, it's June, you have 3 more months. You should be at 75% on your budget. Some of you like 87, 89, 80. Well, that means your money getting ready to run out. FEMA pays back quick.
But
But-
we have it in the report?
No, they haven't yet. FEMA paid back quick if you get the report. I've talked to some homeowners that's already gotten their money from FEMA because they're reporting it. But they have a window also, if I'm not mistaken. If you miss that window, then you what?
You don't get the money? Is that-
You miss the money. You may get it later on, huh?
The county has not submitted the report?
Yes, they have the
Yeah,
report.
they have all of it. It's just, like I said, it was a couple of things she called about, she left a message with Augusta about, it was a couple of them, I think they weren't anything, anything like with culverts, anything of that nature, we've gotten all that in. This was just, I think, 1 or 2 places where we placed some gravel, gonna place some gravel. And, but that was it. But no, overall, that's why I said we've submitted
Paperwork
quite a
can be
bit.
turned in.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the question I asked, had you
Yes, sir.
submit your report, and you
Yes.
said we still had a few more things.
Well, I misspoke. It was just a
Okay.
couple of other things, but no, man, our overall
checked with
report
Sheila and
has been
Augusta.
submitted.
And
That's
Ben,
fine.
paperwork
Well,
is in.
nothing else to be discussed.
I
I'm
got
just
you.
going off what you said.
I got you. I got you.
I was about to say, I thought we
Well, we need to get Ben to check with them because talk to some people, they got their money already. And we need the money to continue out until October the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Cause this is the time to shape and mold the road while it's dry. All
Well,
right,
one more question though. The workshop that we put off, the work session rather, have we rescheduled
2
that?
o'clock this evening.
2 o'clock, okay, all right.
And motion, we take a 5-minute break.
Have we received the report yet?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see y'all this afternoon.
Okay, all right.
5-minute break. Thank y'all.
but I mean, that, you're not supposed to really, I mean, we receive it.
You receive it. Do you have
This is
water?
the process, so that y'all who are new will understand. On the first Monday in July, the tax collector presents to you a tax roll, which has been basically put together after a year's worth of work by Technical Appraisal Services, who is contracted to do that work on behalf of the county. They value every piece of property in the county. They value, some of it is residential, some of it is commercial, everything, and personal property, homesteads, everything is valued. And based on that, they give you these rolls showing you what the assessed valuation of the county is, and you'll use this information to figure out how many mills to levy in order to raise a certain amount of money to fund the budget that you're gonna adopt. Now, the process is this: they have to present this roll to you on the first Monday in July, which they have done. It's your obligation today to receive the roll, and then the statutes say you are to equalize the roll. But the statutes are from back in a time, back in the 1910s, when, you know, everybody knew everybody in the whole county, and it weren't.
What you
How
mean
many
by
parcels
equalize?
have we got?
We have 16,000 parcels.
We got 16,000 parcels. By equalizing, what I mean is, you used to have to equalize the rolls, which would mean you would look at every single parcel, and you would say, okay, I know Ms. Dickinson's house, I know what it looks like, and Mr. Holmes' house is just all the same bedrooms, and it's built the same way, and so their houses ought to
Should
be
be taxed the
valued
same.
about the same. And if you found someone who had a value that you thought was way too high, you bring it down, or way too low, you bring it up. And that's the process of equalization. Nowadays, we got 16,000 parcels. We hire Technical Appraisal Services not only to prepare the roll, but to equalize everything, be sure everybody's being taxed the same way.
And the state has the manuals.
And the state tax commission gives them a manual that tells them, this is how you appraise this sort of property, and this is so that all houses throughout the state ought to be appraised the same way and equally.
But Johnny, let me ask this, in time past, when there were any problems about what you're saying, equalizing, the tax assessor would contact Ms. Myrtle.
Well, that's
And there have been times when people have come before this board and said, this is what it, and then we will use a comparison. Or you just go to the office, and Renee know what I'm talking about, and a lot of times they're satisfied in the office
Oh, yeah,
and never
most of the
come
time
before
they
this
are.
board. But I just want the
That's
public
the
to know
next,
that you
that's
can.
the next
Yeah.
part of the process. This morning, you receive the roll, you put an order on saying you received it, and you'll direct that it be publicized.
Somebody might be hiding a swimming pool.
I will put,
Has
You
been
know.
known.
that's
Yeah,
right.
somebody might be hiding a swimming pool with a certain kind of cover. When they did the aerial photography, they didn't see it, and the neighbor know that they have one, and said, well, my stuff.
I will put the notice in the newspaper that the rolls have been received and equalized, and anybody, any taxpayer will have the right, up until the first Monday in August, have 1 month, to file an objection. Now, most of them will, if they have some problem, they'll go over to Cynthia's office and they'll sit down with them and they'll work it out and figure it out. Sometimes we've had people who don't get it worked out, and usually it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like a factory or something. They say it's appraised way too high. And if there is a written objection filed by 8 o'clock on Monday morning, the first Monday in August, with Dr. McIntosh, then this board at your next first Monday meeting in August will sit down and go through all of those objections, and the people who file them will die
That day, that same day?
that day.
Okay. So when Ms.
And
McIntosh
technical
was sick,
appraisal will be here.
Okay.
They have to be filed with the clerk.
Then she would turn it in to.
She'll
Cynthia.
tell them, and they'll be here to tell you why they think it's right, and the other folks can tell you why they think it's wrong. And on the first Monday, and I'll finalize the rolls. But this is the first step in your tax rolls. And now, I'm sure that
And
So, I
Johnny,
mean, y'all can receive them, and then Merv probably go through and tell you something about, I'd like to know just, basic differences between last year and this year. You know, is the valuation going up, has it gone down, what are we looking at?
We are really fortunate in this county that we have had an increase in valuation. Monsanto had an increase, a large increase, over $1 million in inventory, and we had a little increase from 23,101,516 to 23,826,91 for personal property, and that's your business personal property taxes. We had a little increase in state only, a little decrease rather in state only, and then we had another increase in the ones that getting gapped, but overall, our personal property roll was up a little bit. Our real property roll is up some because we had $225,538 of state only exemptions last year. For this year, we only have $84,040, and that's due to Indy Bell and the corn plant, isn't it, Renee? They went into real property, and then, of course, ag use value went up 10% straight-wide again.
Now, stop right there and go a little slower, because you got some new board members who don't understand what you're talking about when you say state only.
Okay, they have property, they only pay taxes on fire and school tax only. Okay, so this one's school tax only, okay, and so they are not assessed
If a new industry
as much
comes
as
in, y'all had one, if you remember, last month. Super Value asked you, they bought some new equipment, they expanded their business, and they asked you to give them an exemption on that equipment.
Okay.
And you did. And that will mean they'll be on the school tax only roll. They'll pay school tax, but they won't pay
fire.
the other
the
portion.
other. And then there's a thing called, there's a GAP program, Growth and Prosperity. It was started by the state. It's handled by the state. You really don't have anything to do with it because we agreed to participate in it. But if they are granted a GAP exemption, then they pay school tax and they pay fire and police tax, but they don't pay any other tax for a 10-year period. And we got to figure out whether that's
Fire
still
and
true.
police under the gap.
Under the gap. But they don't pay any other tax.
Pay no land tax in it.
From anything except school tax and law enforcement and fire tax. So if y'all got any questions now, ask them, because this is really important stuff for y'all to understand as you go into formulating your budget, figuring out how much tax you got to levy on everybody in order to fund that budget.
Now, let me ask you again, the GAP is exempt from which one? The state?
GAP, Growth and Prosperity, is exempt from school tax.
Oh, exempt from the school.
They pay school tax,
Oh, they
fire
pay
tax.
Excuse me, that's right.
That's
They
right.
pay school tax, fire and police protection tax, and they're exempt from everything else.
Exempt from everything else.
That's right. I had it wrong, I'm sorry.
Exempt from everything else.
And the other,
The other one, a regular exemption, like
State
Super
tax.
Value asked you for last week, they pay school tax, but they won't pay anything.
else, that's
They
all.
won't even pay
Fire and
fire
police.
and police.
and that's what you call the state. The-
Yeah,
the
state only.
They pay only state tax. State tax only.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in the schools the schools are part of your state tax.
Yeah.
You're paying for your school.
Okay.
And if you look at last year figures,
Which year you talking about,
The
Renee?
first
one.
one.
First
The
Very
top
first
one?
one. Line
Oh,
like
that's
that.
last year.
Those are last year's
The
figures.
handwritten.
handwritten numbers right
Okay,
here.
okay, I got you.
That's last year's figures, so you see the ups and the downs.
Yeah.
Right there about where your pen is, Miss Gloria.
I see it. Okay. So automobiles have gone down. From 20, it went up. They
Well,
went
yeah,
up.
the automobiles went up.
Automobiles went up. Okay.
GAP exemption, you got okay, you got more GAP exemptions, so they make your numbers, make your money lower.
Lower.
Okay.
Total asset value.
I'm trying to find where that is, Glenn.
The total assessed value
Look
is
over to the end,
right there.
where it said
Oh,
GAP
GAP,
exempt
GAP,
and
GAP,
state
gotcha.
tax only.
Gotcha.
State tax only, it went up, so you got less money, and about
Well, that lot increases your real property value because you moved them over from the exemption to the being fully taxable, so that increased your real tax roll a little bit when you move those values over.
All right, but our total
Say that
assessed,
again now.
When you move them from state only to fully taxable, that is part of the increase in your total real property because they're fully taxable now.
And you get more money.
You
off
get
it.
more money from them.
And we had several like that?
Yeah, it's
We
several,
had
like
two on
two,
reel this year.
two big ones on real.
MSCP, which is the corn plant at Holly Ridge, their exemption was up this year, and one of,
Indy Bells.
yeah, Indy
Indy
Bells.
Bells.
one of
Now,
the
you
ones
said
that
something about
bought.
Monsanto's now, what
Well,
happened?
their personal property inventory total went up considerably. They went up to 1,075,288 for this year, and that was up quite a bit from last year.
they got some inventory stored in one of those warehouses out there.
Yeah, in a warehouse.
They rent that
Yeah.
warehouse space. I
Yes.
wondered the same thing, because they don't have any
No, they don't have any real
property.
property. They just have personal
But they
property.
got some inventory in one of those warehouses.
Which warehouses?
One of the ones out there,
In the industrial.
in the
In
industrial.
industrial park.
Oh, I thought you was talking about the Moore Line building.
No. In the
So,
industrial.
so let
thinking
me
the
ask
same
you,
thing.
is the real property then, that's businesses?
That's your land.
That's the land, that's what I thought, that's
That's
the
houses,
land.
businesses, that's.
That's the land, and my house is sitting on the land.
Houses
The
in
land is in there,
Yeah, your land
Your
and
house
house
is
is
in-
under.
and the house is too?
Yes,
So what's the personal property then?
that's your businesses, business personal property taxes.
Businesses,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, businesses, okay. And so, the individuals that live in the county really come on the real.
Under real
On the
property,
real
yes,
property.
ma'am.
And automobiles, I mean, you know, most everybody got.
Yeah,
auto-
Automobiles and mobile homes, those individuals, but the business is personal property. And that's most of their inventory, you're saying? Or what?
Anything, furniture, fixtures, inventory,
The buildings? too?
Machinery,
the buildings would
equipment.
be real.
So the buildings
This
are
is
real.
what's inside
What's inside the
business
building.
that creates their identity.
Because one time, I think about 7 years ago, Super Value built a new part on there, and they bought a lot of new equipment, because they turned like a warehouse
Into
into
a
something
cooler,
else,
mhm.
and had to do all this, and so they increased
Increased it, mhm.
And they got the gap tax because they brought in
Jobs.
about 50 to 100, 55 more jobs, if I'm not mistaken. They got the taxes. You remember that, Renee? And and we have to go through all that. So,
So down here where it
about a
says,
$5 million expansion, I think, what they did.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So down here where it says, on the personal property, District 5, 938, then but they got a gap exempt of 895. So the total assets is just 42,000. That's the way I'm supposed to read that? District 5.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, where are you, Ms. Flores?
Business, what it said, the personal properties, and you said that's businesses. And so it says they got a gap, District 5 has a gap exemption though. I mean, they don't pay exempt for anything else. A large gap exemption. You see where I am?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
What would that be?
It's got that.
All right, y'all got in your little stack that I gave you, you got another little staple set. These are all of your exemptions.
Okay.
Every business or every industry that's asked for an exemption, you got a sheet that tells you their beats, whether it's gap or 10-year or state tax only, gives you.
It's in this,
It's Delta,
And,
yours would be Delta Precision,
yeah, Delta Precision is where hers.
Delta Precision.
Yes, ma'am.
District 5.
Yeah, that's it.
Full harvest for.
Full harvest rice and grain is
Yeah.
beat 5.
Based
Beat
on
5.
what?
And Delta Precision and Joseph Tranum's beat 4.
Oh, okay. That helps. Thank you. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, that one figure may not be one business or one industry. It could be a lump sum of.
Okay. I got it. Thank you.
Well, as I say, I mean, the main thing is to receive the rolls and give notice to the public that the rolls are here in the clerk's office, available for inspection. Anybody can come and look at them anytime. And if they have some objection to their value, of course, we'll send them over to the tax office and maybe they work it out. But if they can't get it worked out, they file a written objection with the clerk, and we'll take all those objections up on the first Monday in August.
Have a motion to receive.
So moved.
Second.
Proper moving second, all in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Carried unanimously. Request for disallowance on parcels sold at tax sale. It's in your package.
No, that's what it is.
Yes, this is, being struck, requesting to be struck from the, tax sale, mortgage company that pays this tax bill. This was a 2012 chargeback, and they contends that they did not receive their 180-day notice. So within the statutes listed, it's providing that it be struck from the tax sale.
Johnny?
I reviewed it, and I think it's appropriate.
Why would it be so long? Well, this.
See, the difference in chargeback, so they never got the notice of it. It's not like they, and the real problem with this one is, they didn't get any notice, because it wasn't getting a tax bill. But then they put this chargeback on it, and it's sold to the state.
Shouldn't even been in there, period,
That's
right?
right.
Well, he needs to
owed-
pay the chargeback, and he
needs to-
will pay the chargeback. The bank has tried to pay the chargeback, but the sale has to be voided for them to pay.
To pay it.
Let me just ask a question. I'm not that smart on taxes. like
Me
that.
either.
I'm talking about how that works. Why would it be a chargeback if he was exempt and should never been on there?
He owed Mississippi income
It
tax,
could be
probably.
anything, it could be a lot of things, but maybe he had another homestead somewhere else, you can't have but one. Most likely,
okay.
most of them is,
Didn't
he
pay
didn't
state
pay
taxes.
state
He
income
owed
taxes.
income
Most
Ah,
of
okay.
them, that's what
Okay.
gets charged.
So in other words, he went back on the road because of that.
You owe the state money,
For that
they're
amount.
not gonna pick up the tab for the
I'm
hundred.
trying to understand what he said when he said chargeback. I agree with that. A motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
A second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Rice, motion by Mr. Conrad. All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried unanimously. Any more?
And I get with, Mrs. McIntosh later on this afternoon. Ms. McIntosh, we can sign this so I get it mailed, in the mail
To the public, and hope that the paper and the live stream will pick it up, that if you do have a disagreement, if you do think that your taxes are not what they should be, please contact the Chancellor Clerk first. And the Chancellor Clerk will give it to Ms. Chandler. That keeps them from bombarding you, Ms. Chandler, then you have to send them back over here to Ms. McIntyre to put it on file. So, ask that the paper will please make the public cognizant of, the process. Johnny said it well, but I just want to reemphasize it.
I really think though, it's fine for them to go to the tax office if they want to.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10,
Most
when they
times they'll
come
go
to
there
us,
for
we
it.
get them worked out
Yeah,
before
yeah,
they
yeah.
ever come
That
in
shows
here.
I had something.
But, Johnny told how the statute said it should go, and that's,
Well,
but
let's
it's
see,
fine.
if they can't
Okay.
get it worked out and they wanna object, it's got to be filed.
That's what I'm talking about. So they won't come in here and saying, I want to object and go like, well, did you go to Miss McIntyre? No, I went to Miss Chandler. Well, we can't receive your objection because you didn't go by the process. That's the only thing I'm saying. Thank y'all so much here. Before we move to Sheriff Haywood, we have Miss Latrice Westbrook is here, and she called me and I asked her, I told her she could stop by and just address the board, and this time, we all know Miss Latrice Westbrook. She's been here before, and I think she's a very nice, very kind, and a very generous young lady, and we want her to come and make her presentation at this time.
Good morning.
Good.
Allow me to introduce myself to some and present myself to others. My name is Latrice Westbrooks, and Supervisor Donaldson is correct. I have been here before, not too long ago, as a matter of fact, addressing the board on other matters, but I'm here in a different capacity today. I am asking you for your support of the Mississippi Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals, as we all know, is the second highest court in our state judicial system. It has 10 judges that serve on that court. And whenever a matter is appealed, the Court of Appeals may become the first court to hear the case. Now, the board here deals with issues of annexation all the time, I'm certain. But issues of annexation go straight to the Supreme Court. They don't come to the Court of Appeals, and that's just one of a few selected cases that go directly to the Supreme Court. But other except for death penalty cases, your personal injury matters, chancery matters, all go before the Court of Appeals first. And I am asking you for your support in that endeavor. I would like to be your next appellate court judge. The area covers 24 counties in the 2nd district. And I am going for place 2, position 1. Place 1 is already filled by Judge Tyree Irving, and I am going for place 2. And I would like to have your support and your vote, because Sunflower is one of those 24 counties in the district. And I'm asking everyone in the room and all the citizens of Sunflower County to support me on November 8th. It's the presidential election. I imagine it would be number 4 on the ballot. The presidential race, you have the congressional race, and the Supreme Court, and I'd like for people not to mix this up with the Supreme Court, which will also be on the ballot, but the Court of Appeals. So when you go to the ballot, please remember Westbrooks for West Mississippi.
Who are your opponents?
There's only one other person in the race. Only one other person.
So,
Who is that?
She don't want to give him publicity, John.
Well, I mean, she could have
I'll be
publicity
happy.
here.
I'll be happy to share that information with you.
y'all do election cases too? Appeals on election cases?
No, I believe election cases go straight to the Supreme Court too. But not only because of the nature of the case itself, but also because of the time-sensitive nature of those cases. So I believe those cases go straight to the Supreme Court as well.
Well, it must not be too time sensitive.
Well, it depends, but that's 9 justices on the court to decide those matters. So the Court of Appeals was created back in the 90s to help with the backlog of cases with the Supreme Court. And so the Supreme Court has elected to keep original jurisdiction over a number of cases. I mentioned criminal cases earlier, but the Supreme Court keeps original jurisdiction over death penalty cases. So I have some information, and I would definitely appreciate the board's support, and we'll be able to speak with you all personally.
Jen, I want to say I met with Ms. Westbrook and more than once, and she has been so kind and nice, and I asked her to come. We've let other candidates come and just introduce themselves, and that's what this thing about, because I want y'all to know her. I strongly, if I'm allowed to say it, I strongly support her and back her 100%. And it's a blessing to have somebody of her caliber running for such a position. I appreciate you, Ms. Westbrook.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Clark is not here today. He had surgery. District 4 supervisor.
Okay.
I'll get you in touch with him.
I support Ms. Westbrook's wholeheartedly, and I'm gonna say it again, like I said a few minutes ago. The word says, "What you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you."
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That's the word.
Absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you. Y'all have a great day. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Introduce your campaign manager, so because they know her from this area, so they'll know
Okay,
she
all
works
right. Well,
with you.
come forward. This is
Good
Ms.
morning.
Nefertiri McDavid. Ms. McDavid is my campaign assistant, basically my right hand on this campaign trail. And you are right, she is no stranger to Sunflower County, so thank you for welcoming us both here today.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thank you.
She worked with Judge Carol Richards in her election, and she did a great job. She's a go-getter. I
Yes,
love
sir.
her.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank
At this
you.
time, James Haywood, Sheriff.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I got a detail to go to. So, I guess we have on this. First of all, we got the monthly statement.
Monthly settlement report. County bond fees, $475. County process fees, $350. Inmate process and jail fees, $150. Land redemption, $770 total, $1745. We will be submitting a check for $1745 for county settlements. In the month of June, we served a total amount of 3442 meals to the inmates in the Sunflower County Sheriff's Department. We'd like to submit it for approval.
Motion to approve sheriff report.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried unanimously.
Item A.
Okay.
It will be the new hire. You should have 3 applications because due to disciplinary action at the jail, these people here probably gonna be terminated. We got some people that ain't complying with rules and regulations, and also, so I'm gonna have to make some changes. First of all, you got Larry Anderson. He's certified jail officer. Cassandra Wright and Mrs. Bernstein Conway. Those are the 3 applicants.
So these are just replacement, nothing, that's okay.
Because we thought they were new hires, didn't we?
Well,
We are gonna be replacing, you do a replacement, because we had wanted to do new hires, but they're gonna be replacing somebody.
yeah, I know one of them is. So.
What she's saying, we already have money in the budget that we
Okay.
have not, people that you hadn't hired yet.
Right.
The board gave you 8 officers.
Okay.
I think you.
4. Okay. That'll be new hire then.
These will be new hires.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Did the board understand what is transpiring? Board in agreement, have a motion?
Somebody.
Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried unanimously. Well, when you do let some go, Johnny would love for me to tell you this. Please go on and come in and hire some more so we stay in compliance.
Right. You're right.
Please.
You're right.
All right, B, delete item from inventory.
It's a corner desk that was in the processor office that was worn out and it was damaged. And the drawers were missing and everything like that, so he wanted to delete it from his inventory. Second.
A motion by Mr. Holmes, second by Mr. Rice, is that correct? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried unanimously. And heating.
And Mr. Hugg, he came out to the jail, and we have sat down and, we have contacted all these vendors and stuff. We let them know that we have to get a notice to do any kind of work. And when he came in and did the work without getting a quote, and we had to submit some more paperwork so that he can get paid. I did call him in, man, Mr. Gardner and him have a good sit down. I told him, then no invoice if he don't give us a quote, an estimate on how much it's gonna be.
Who called him in the beginning? He just came in?
But when Mr. Gardner called him, he probably, when he called him, he's supposed to report to the jail and talk to Miss Echols, who is the receiving clerk, and let her know what he about to do, and we'll get somebody out there to walk with him, and then he give us some kind of estimate. And he didn't do that. I think his sons came out there. He didn't come himself, and normally he would come in.
Did you get a purchase order?
Yeah, Joanne had submitted for one.
Don't have one yet.
I think what happened, we was having
serious problem with a unit. And his son came out and he had to go to Greenville, pick up a part and come back. And in that transition, he forgot to stop at the office. That's actually kind of what happened. And, but like Mr. Brown said, he and I have talked with Mr. Hub. In the future work we get from them, they will have to come out of that office first.
What was that unit supplying? Trying to see if it was declared an emergency or whatever.
Yeah.
If you had an inmate in a cell, it was hot. What was it supplying?
It wasn't an inmate. It was all the office area.
The whole zone.
That's what
whole
I'm saying.
No air conditioning.
Right.
Oh,
So we had to get it done.
You remember what day it was?
I had to go back and look at that.
5/26.
That's a Wednesday, Thursday.
So we shouldn't have that problem in
It
the
was a
future.
weekday. Well, I mean, the problem is that you need to have a purchase order.
Right.
Before any work is done.
Right.
And that's y'all's fault as much as it is.
Yeah.
So just somebody we worked with before, they
Yeah.
Yeah.
presented a contract or something with them or anything?
No, he doesn't,
So we do a PO every time?
he's
supposed
just a
to?
vendor, so he should
After he
have.
had- Yeah, and since he had already gone and did the work, Michelle and I looked at it and we really didn't need to get the second quote because he had already done the work. We just need to get this emergency letter so that the board would know that it was done out of the ordinary. To go ahead and.
In other words, let's put it in English. They called him out and said, we got a problem out condenser. When he came out to evaluate the problem, because it was so hot in the jail, he went on and fixed the problem. That's what happened. It was a service call to come look at it, tell us what we need.
Right.
And they fixed it.
They fixed it. That fixed what they did.
Did we pay the bill today?
I think he had already been paid. He had already was done.
Has he been paid?
No.
I don't think he got a PO for that, and I don't think it's been paid yet.
He been paid.
Well, that's the one
why
that's
they bring it to the
$900.
board. They been paid, we wouldn't send it down. Bring it to the board so the kids pay it.
That hasn't been paid.
See, this board has to declare an
Right.
emergency, they just can't declare it.
Right.
Reason I'm asking is, why wasn't it brought last month? It was back in the 5th month, this was 7th month.
It was May 26th.
I think we were trying to get a PO for it,
Yeah, it
and
might
it
have
was
been after
rejected
that
because
cutoff.
we didn't have the quote, and it was sent back to Joanne, and then came back after the board meeting, and we're trying to get the man paid.
So what do we have the contract for Upchurch to do?
He's a maintenance guy on certain units, and, you know, you have to be versatile, you have to have more than one.
But we don't have
If
a
you dealt with one person all the time, you'd be in trouble with the county, like favoritism.
contract with Upchurch for the jail, we only had that for the courthouse.
Okay, that's a good answer.
No, something else happened, we're gonna see it while we're on this. The health department doing this heat wave or whatever, air conditioning went out in it, and Ms. McIntosh approved that. She had to go on and do it because, I mean, those people's in there trying to work and fainting. And, they had to replace something in there.
Replace the compressor, but I was able to get the 2 quotes.
Yeah.
And we went with the lowest quote, but we had only paid him since I asked him to bump us up on the list since it was hot out there and needed to work.
I'd rather deal with this $700 than an inmate coming out filing suit and start saying they had a heat stroke because of that, all that iron and brick and it was hot in there. You know, which are the two evils you deal with? I'd rather pay this. Have a motion.
So much.
It's probably moving second. All in favor? All opposed?
Nay.
I vote aye. Ayes have it, motion carried. All right, next thing, request payment for North Mississippi Police Supply and Uniform. It's a letter from the sheriff requesting that the payment be made to North Mississippi Police Supply and Uniform. The uniform was needed because of the emergency of an officer to attend training session due to the short notice. The invoice is attached. $379.30.
So this one doesn't have a PO either. Doesn't have a PO. one doesn't have a PO, right?
No, ma'am.
Why, yeah.
Call
He got the emergency letter on here, but I have spoken with the sheriff. I've sent him a correspondence about getting work done or making purchases out of the way.
So somebody had to call them up, right? Somebody called them to order it.
Yes, I did.
I mean, how,
What we did now, I was talking to Joanne about this one. She said she got a PO on it, but what the thing was is the lady invoice date was different. The PO was received, but when she did the invoice for the day that she sent the stuff
so
out.
y'all did go through the proper procedure?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
She should have a PO for just the invoice.
Ooh, that's
date.
scary now, cause I don't see how the uniforms will be an emergency.
Yeah.
And the PO could be attached, even if you did it, you still, so the PO exists. We needed to have it in here. I think, if it
We
exists.
never had it. We never brought POs.
Yes, they do in the
No, it's way back there. I mean,
Numbers on the, form.
Is the PO number on here?
39173.
I've never seen a address a PO in here. I mean, you need to address the problem,
Except
but I
when we
ain't
do
never
the
seen it.
docket, when we
Okay.
do docket, the PO will come in. They always come in with the bill.
But I have addressed this with the sheriff.
So let's get something clear, cause this is not emergency, okay? Uniform is not emergency. You don't want us to look like we don't know what we're doing. So what you're saying is that she did get the PO, but when the invoice was given, there was a different date put on it.
Different date, yes, sir.
So it held up the payment because of different dates. But she acquired the PO before the order was made.
Yes, she got the PO, but the lady put the invoice date
24.
before the right.
It seems like an after the fact.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was in,
On the invite, looking at her invoice.
After the fact, what you mean?
I mean, the PO was done after the
February
invoice.
24.
Right.
PO was done after 2/24. The invoice has 2/24, that's what he's saying. Then they came back and did the PO later. That's what it seems like.
I asked him, did he execute it? Did you do it in order? Did you get the PO before you made the order?
I had to give it to Joanne. She said she had the PO. And she was explaining to me that that came in, that the lady put the wrong date of the invoice, different from when she got the PO. That was she was explaining to me.
Well, did anybody ask the lady to give you an invoice with the right date on it?
Yeah, Joanne had called her and told her to submit another up-to-date invoice. I don't know if she did it or not. I don't know.
My question is, this invoice was dated in February, this is July.
You remember back here, we submitted a whole lot of bills, and those were one of those letters that the sheriff had typed up and during 2015, I think. And what happened was, we submitted in January the 9th, we submit the letter of the emergency. Okay, but somehow it got,
get paid.
They didn't get paid, so he had to submit another letter, which was March the 4th of this year. And so it's the same thing that was in 2015, the same invoice.
In other words, we discussed this earlier.
We didn't discuss this earlier.
They didn't get paid.
Right, they didn't get paid.
January, I was in intensive care, so I probably never saw it.
Well, I got
And
copies.
I do know that some
Right.
of them,
It
they
was-
asked
it
me
was-
to pass on whether it was an emergency,
Right.
and I had my own to deal with, so
Right.
I didn't think it was.
Right.
I got to say, you know I love you guys, but y'all got to do better.
Right, you're right. You're right.
I mean, there is a process for getting a purchase order, and if it's a sure enough emergency, it's the middle of the night on Saturday night, and the temperature write it up as an emergency, and it'll be all right. But this business without getting the purchase order and having the dates correct,
Right.
there's no excuse for that.
You're right. There ain't no excuse, it's not.
Which is why I've sent a letter to the sheriff, addressing our concerns
Right.
when it comes to these matters.
I conditions one thing, uniform is another.
Wearing them, so you just got to pay for it.
I don't know. Maybe who ordered has to pay for it. Who wear it?
Pay for it anyway.
It was a deputy that was on the way to the train. He had to have uniforms. They didn't order them in time enough.
Oh,
Well, they ordered for two different people. That's makes it look worse.
oh, there's 2 orders. Right. No received report.
It's not an emergency.
No.
Well, are you satisfied that the purchase order was issued and the items were received, but the
Yes,
date
sir.
on the invoice is incorrect?
Yes, sir.
Well, why don't you give us an invoice that matches it?
The representative from North Mississippi Police Supply and Uniform actually called me, one day last week, which is when it was brought back to my attention. So that's why we are addressing it today. She said she had been talking with the, sheriff's department back and forth. She hadn't gotten nowhere.
Well, can't they get an invoice that matches the date of the purchase order, which is what really happened?
Right.
I mean, somebody, obviously what happened was somebody went there and looked at everything. It was like, lay all that stuff out there, this is, I'm gonna buy this on
Where is
approval.
it
And they wrote up an invoice for it, and then you come back and get the purchase order, which is appropriate, but now the invoice is dated
Right.
before the
That
purchase
would
order.
happen.
And that should have been a quote instead of the invoice.
It should have been either a
Right.
quote or the purchase order should be dated first.
And they should not have, we got it unless it got the purchase order.
And I'm assuming it got received.
Do we have to quote on uniform?
You what?
Yeah.
Do you have to quote on uniform?
No, you don't have to
I
quote
think you have to
them.
be on some uniform.
Or even state law, but it's our policy.
If you was getting ready to buy every deputy in here 5 uniforms, then you had to get a quote. That you wouldn't have to get a quote. But still need Piolo, you know.
Yeah, right.
Did they go up there and get them, or they ordered them and came to them?
I'm not sure, I think they went get them.
They went and got 'em. They probably laid them out on the counter and looked at 'em.
Right.
They got some freight.
You know, that's what happened. That's what happened.
You right.
Where is that?
Yeah, they got $16 worth of freight, so they.
They shipped it, nobody go get them.
Okay.
Well, we have
Got to
officially
decide.
addressed this with that department, right?
Janet, this is what I would, I would like for the board to entertain a motion of paying it with addition to it that we receive an invoice with the proper date. With the proper date, I don't think legally we can pay it.
Okay. I think that's appropriate. I'll write it up there.
And we need to attach the PO to it too. I don't know if that's a good PO.
Well, they got.
What is the proper date?
Ma'am.
You know what the
You don't
proper
know.
date would be for the invoice?
I had to look at it.
Okay.
Well, it probably is the date of the purchase order.
It gonna have to
It
match.
sure ain't before it.
Okay.
So we got to look at the purchase order to see what the date's on the purchase order. So we got to look at the purchase order.
Okay. Would somebody entertain that motion predicated on they receive the proper date on the invoice, then the board, county can pay for it?
So,
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?
Nay.
so what's your vote?
I made the motion. I did make the motion.
Ms. Dixon
Okay, you
made-
made the motion?
Yeah, I made the motion.
Okay, I actually entertained it, okay. And y'all know what this saying now?
Yeah, we know.
If you, the sheriff's department.
Yes, we understand
If you can't
fully.
if you can't get the proper date on it, this bill won't get paid, because, let me tell you something, you know how that go? We fire supervisors, and the audit department come in and say, this is not proper, in the county pay, we fire supervisor has to split this $379.30, and these clothes are not in my closet.
Y'all four.
Four.
Y'all three. Mr. Clark is absent.
So y'all three.
Cause these clothes are not in my closet.
These are about
Nobody asked me about them
$125
clothes.
But like I said, I ain't got with them. I'm tired of it too. And I told them, no, if anybody called anybody and had somebody do some work at that jail, they can pay for it themselves. The way I feel about it.
I think you're gonna end up paying for it for yourself, cause I don't believe she gonna give you no jacked up, excuse me for
Right.
using those slave terms. I don't believe the officer gonna have to pay for them or
Right.
some. I don't think this motion says, if it can be done proper and order by the process, then it get paid. If not, if it was a mistake, seemed like she would've sent the correct invoice by now,
We understand.
from February. Let's move on. What's next on it?
You sure you wanna follow all that?
I'm not sure. Can I wait till 11? But, this is where we at on the cameras, and we're trying to wrap this up.
Johnny, I talked to Judge Weathersby, Ms. McIntosh talked to also. There's no legal ramification that says a camera can't be put in there. She didn't tell me that, but I did some more research on it. The only thing she said she objected to is that even if you had the camera there, she said when you have no, who you got money from it out there. And she said she'd rather see a security guard in the courtroom. So she has to get that straight with the board. I mean, not with the board, with the sheriff department. She said she would rather see a security guard. So in other words, she somewhat object to us having a camera in youth court. Has nothing to do with justice court now. It's being on while youth court is going on. She has justice court. Judge Sheridan, talked to him also. He said he has no objection to the camera being in the courtroom doing regular justice court. He said the bailiff, he said the constable, he said the constable is not, state statute does not operate as a security guard or office. Actually, just, he said that's what the statute shows. He said he would appreciate some kind of protection or whatever. But Mr. Gardner and I got together, and you know, you had one judge said they don't want it in there. Another judge says they would like to have it in there. The consensus I come with is leave it out of it and just put one over the door of the courtroom when they get ready to enter, so you'll know who coming in and out, folks toward the front door, because you don't have a security guard there, and it need to be somebody. It folks on the people coming in the hall, not going in the court building. We already agreed to put one in the justice court clerk office that's on the clerks in the vault. This just be one additional, because one thing you got to think about this too. Now you got your youth court clerk, which is Miss Kathy, sitting over there, and some of those kids are antagonized with her. So they just walk over in her office. There's no counter with no glass in it across her office. Okay. So we need to know who coming in and out of that place in case something did happen. So, Mr. Gardner, go ahead.
Okay. I compared this one around. This one got the money on, so I didn't run a copy, but everybody take a look at the cost and what they're asking us to do. We gotta have a IP address for these, for our server. And
That's
I
in the
talked-
courthouse, right?
Yes, I talked to Ms. McIntosh, and she said we need to bring it up in front of the board today, because they will have to have IP address in order for us to be able to see it from the jail, and we want to be able to monitor this courthouse 24 hours a day according to the sheriff. And in order to do that, our dispatchers are sitting there and they can monitor that.
These cameras, even during the daytime, at justice court or anywhere, the sheriff's department and the officers out front at the desk
will be able to see full time, real time, what's going on in this courthouse.
And the
on that
sheriff's
side.
department would be too.
Yes.
So if somebody got up and went to the bathroom, All they do is call the sheriff's department, say, I'm getting ready to leave, would you pay attention to the monitor?
Right.
Sound unique to me.
Now, on the annex, Jason is coming today because we will have to run camera cables from the courthouse to the annex to supply the 2 cameras that's gonna be monitored on the desk here.
How can you do that? I mean, they're 2 separate buildings. They got
They run
Wi-Fi.
Cable.
They gonna run a cable. Where will they run the cable?
Right across from the courthouse to the annex.
Just like you run a regular cable. Like I got a.
But I mean, up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the
Gonna be high
camera
enough
monitor
for the
everything?
garbage truck not to hit?
Yeah, it's gonna be high.
The camera gonna monitor everything that goes?
Camera is. As a matter of fact, when we get through, we need to go down to the old janitor's room down there and take a look at the monitor that's in there and see what all it picks up inside and outside.
So it's just where the camera is placed?
Right.
Yeah.
And we have added some more cameras in the basement downstairs on each door,
Judge
on the
Hall.
outside,
Judge
3
chamber.
cameras around the building, the entrance, both ends, and the judge's entrance. And you can see all the way out to the road. You can see the cars passing by in front of his office. But it's something that we needed.
We were talking in the last meeting about who was gonna run the wire. We said who's gonna run the wire.
It'll be done by security service.
Are they charging anything for the running the
There's
wire?
always a charge. You're gonna be charged something if they got to run anything.
You know
But we
how
got to
much?
pull some out from over here, and it's in that quote.
How much? Oh, it's
Yes, it's in the one that you just looked at.
Ms. Rice, I think it's to our advantage that we allow the ones who install them to run the wires. Because if not, then if something happens, it does not transmit where it should, then they're gonna say they're not responsible. We had that at the sheriff's department about 3 years ago. Interface and somebody else was going with it, and they said that if they didn't install it, they wouldn't want it.
And that's what it do, it takes away your warranty. If you get somebody else.
And that's the price for doing
Yes.
the justice court
No,
building?
completing the courthouse. Does not have anything to do with annex.
So when you gonna get that?
He'll be here this afternoon.
Okay.
He's in Greenwood right now. As soon as they do Greenwood, he's coming here.
We have a work session at 2, so please try to bring it in here
I will.
then.
Okay.
Again, we have to get out of the antiquated stage and era. So much happening now. You need to know who's coming in and out of this courthouse. You need to know what's going on in here. The reason they're able to quickly arrest people doing these bombings and stuff, because they pick them up on surveillance cameras. They catch them doing this. What happened in the airport, they actually saw the guy. And, you know, they ran behind him before he designated the bomb. They ran behind him. You gotta know.
I don't have any objection to any of it except, and I will state it again, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. It is not my recommendation that you put a camera in or even outside a courtroom that is to be used for the youth court. That's my recommendation.
Now, this is all courthouse.
Right, this
That's what I'm
is
saying.
just
I don't
it.
have any problem with that.
Let me say this, and we'll leave that part alone also. I'm not recommending that we put a camera inside the courtroom, even though Judge Sheridan said he don't mind, he would like it, because he don't have any protection over there. But I was saying, just like when you walk in this courthouse, somebody gonna pick you up on you're gonna be picked up on a camera now. That's all I'm saying, when you walk in the justice court building.
It's in the corridor, not in the courtroom.
Not in the courtroom at all. In the building.
And facing the door.
Because we have a whole lot more than youth court going on there.
So you recommend we don't put any youth on camera when they come?
That's my recommendation. And I think once you've seen in there, if you're on camera, then that's pretty obvious to me what you're there for. In my opinion, and especially in light of the judge's objection, I don't recommend it.
Anywhere around it.
Well, there's an obvious solution. Hold a youth court somewhere. I don't know. I'm just saying, I haven't thought about what to do. I'm just telling you, I don't think it's appropriate to put cameras on, in youth court.
Yeah, I see.
It is a confidential court.
It's a confidential court.
The records are sealed. Nobody's supposed to know who.
Okay.
That's my recommendation.
So can we do this one and then?
The courthouse one? Absolutely.
So, what you're gonna do about Justice Court building, that building needs to be secured. Because if youth goes in there, it shouldn't stop them from securing the building. You gonna put a security guard up?
Well, I don't know. You can ask. I've been told by someone who attends the youth court pretty regularly that there's generally plenty of security at youth court because most of the time the children who are brought there or who are there are either brought by or local policemen are there to present evidence, testimony. So there's usually a good bit of law enforcement there at the time that's going on.
Let me say this.
Now, I'm not saying that so.
If youth
about
court
justice
gonna be from 2 to 4 o'clock, then have it in your order that you turn the cameras off on the hall from 2 to 4 o'clock whenever you're gonna have youth court. But you got so many days that's in the youth court not going on and people coming in and out of that building. You can't move it to the courthouse, the whole courthouse goes wired up with cameras. So just put in your motion that you turn off the camera on the trial date. If youth court gonna be Thursday at 2 o'clock, you have a set time. Then you turn the camera off coming into the hall, period. But you won't turn it off in just clerk office. And that solve all the problems. Johnny said he shouldn't be filmed. I accept your recommendation, Johnny.
I mean, and believe me, I'll put that in the order for you. But what concerns me is, I mean, y'all have talked about these cameras, y'all got stuff that's run by cell phone from somewhere else. Who knows who could turn it off or on or how?
Only people with the IP address will be able to access that, and that will be the sheriff department. Any law enforcer that he gives the address to.
So what motion are we working on? Which one are we on?
Do the courthouse separate.
Let's do the courthouse.
I mean, you don't even have a quote for the annex yet. You don't have that
We
before.
don't have that yet, so. Courthouse.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we finalize this and be through with it, $22.99, I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Rice, second.
Second, Mr. Wright. Probably moving to second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried.
So that's settled.
We'll deal with the other in the work session, 2 o'clock. Johnny McWilliam, open bids.
The board requested that I prepare a notice to bidders, and it's been published in the Enterprise Talks and newspaper. And we got the proof here, but it's been published. Not required even that it be published, but we've also posted this public notice in at least 3 places in the county, public places, one being the courthouse bulletin board, for sale, receipt of bids for sale of surplus property. And these are 4 flagpoles located at the old modern plant on 2nd Street and also at the old Ludlow facility on West Side Avenue. They're designated as poles 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is the most easterly at the modern facility, 2 is the most westerly at the modern facility, 3 is the most easterly at the Ludlow facility, and 4 is the most westerly at the Ludlow facility. And at this time, are there any other persons here with bids? It's after 10 o'clock. We received 1 bid from Delta Western in Inola, Mississippi. Bid on 2 flagpoles at Monsanto Building, that's modern, $127 each, total $254. Bid on 2 flagpoles at Ludlow facility, $77 each, total $154. Grand total of the bid, $408. Signed by Lester Myers.
A motion?
I don't know whether, I guess the bid's from Lester and not Delta Western. Do you know, Dennis? It's sent in a Delta Western envelope. But
He's
it's just
CEO,
got-
so
He's CEO, so I don't know. But
A
anyway,
motion.
$408 is what's bid for all. This requires that they be removed without damage to the property on which they're situated.
Who's gonna remove them?
Well, he'll have to remove them.
Okay.
He would have to remove me. If you accept this bid, he would have to tender a cashier's check by 5 o'clock Friday to pay, and then he would be responsible
just
for
say you-
removing the flagpoles without damaging the other property.
Can I have a motion?
I got no idea what these are worth, so if that's a good bid or not.
It's surplus, so
It's surplus.
it was noticed, and if anybody else wanted, they should have put in a bid. A motion by Mr. Holmes, can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rice, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimously carried. James Lee petition to travel.
He's not here. He gave us information, but he's not here.
He don't have to be here. It's petition to travel. Where you going?
Constable training.
Okay.
You know, we talked about this back last month before last, when he went to a convention, and I asked, was this for his training? And the response that I got was, yeah, that was for his training. Well, this is for his training right here. That last time was just for a convention for constables, and we've never paid that before.
But let me stop you, because I think you're right, but I think Ms. McIntosh, at my request, called and asked those people if that training that was gonna be done there would suffice for the training that was required. And I think she told us that they said it was. And they did have a training session. They didn't have it like this.
They said it was a mandatory training.
It's mandatory.
They didn't have it laid out exactly what they were gonna be doing, you know, learn how to shoot and all of that. But,
I think they give, and I could be wrong on this, Dennis, but I think new constables coming in go to more sessions than ones already been there because they already certified on their constable. You used to be a constable, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just like, take like Miss Chandler. Miss Chandler going to way more meetings than Jack went to last year and year before last because she's new. And she's going to get trained.
Cause Miles is not going. He not going to this training.
Probably not.
Is he?
It's,
No, he's not.
Okay,
He's
so
already
already
had his
trained.
mandatory training.
Okay.
Which is why he asked me to call to see if the other one would suffice.
Okay.
And we were told that that was a mandatory training too.
He's gonna be gone 2 weeks.
That's what they said.
And it don't cost $800?
Everything is included in that.
Hotels and
$100.
everything included?
No, they be staying at the academy somewhere.
Oh, okay, okay. Have a motion.
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carried. All right, Ms. Leslie Scott, the MAS Insurance Program, number 12. Yes, ma'am, get in the hot seat.
she ain't worried about that. See?
No, I've been there before. Let me get some, Renata Scannell is here with me. She had worked in our office for a while, but now she's assisting with the insurance program. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. Here, John, we got
Thank you, ma'am.
You remember me?
Yeah, I remember you. How you doing?
And prior to coming today, we had an opportunity to chat with your agent, Mr. Russell, which was a good conversation. Renata, why don't you, thank you.
Tell me your name again.
Thank you for, I know you've had a long meeting and you've got a work session apparently, so,
And I'm Renata Scannell.
that's Renata.
Renato.
Last
Renada is Renata.
Last name?
No. It's odd.
Were you from France?
It could be. Skannal,
I'm just having
Scannell.
fun.
We were lucky to find Renata to work for us in the office, and she shined so brightly that when I pled my case to get some help with insurance, she was moved over, and she does have a PNC agent license.
She's
and-
very pleasant to talk with on the phone also.
Well, that's another strength of many that she has, but she's been a big help to me. It was a lot trying to run this operation myself. So, anyway, we appreciate the opportunity to come and chat with y'all today about our program. We are in the process of trying to submit quotes to counties that we have not, that are not currently members. I'll tell you, we have 45 members already, which is way more than I would have expected after 2 years of starting up a new operation at MAS. First, let me tell you this. We are not here to sell you something. We're not here to arm twist you. We are your association. That means we're your friends. We work for you, actually. And your board of directors voted unanimously back into this program to help save counties money. And that's what we did as a staff. And we have, I believe we can say we've been successful in saving counties money. I say that based on looking at what counties were paying for their insurance before Massett came into the market, and then what they're paying now, whether they chose us or not, their costs have dropped. And some of that is due to some market influences. We are one of the market influences, I'll say that. The competition, like you can imagine, generally does that. So that's what I think we have brought, along with a product that is, in many cases, got better limits, broader coverages than what counties had previously been getting for their money. But we're here because who have told us over and over that their budgets are tight, they're looking for savings, and as Derek tells everyone, I think we found out that we can quit looking to the Mississippi legislature or to the federal government, which quit earmarks several years back. We can quit looking to those entities for a lot of help with our budget crisis. In fact, every year we have to fight as your association to keep there from being unfunded mandates put on you as county. Often they succeed in doing it anyway. So that's more the direction, unfortunately, that we see things going in. So we had to start looking out for ourselves. And your association was asked to look at ways that we could help you, and this is one of the ways. That's all. We like I say, I think it's probably been the most successful program of the association. But regardless of whether you choose Massett or choose another carrier, we're your association. We'll be here to help you with insurance or anything else that you need us to help you with. Having said that, let me just, like I said, bring you up to date. We've got 45 members. There have not been any members leaving this program. I want to be sure you know that. I related to your agent, I don't even know that this counts. I don't count it much. We had a Gulf Coast member that joined in December and left in March. They had 4 of their 5 board members be replaced January 1. And those 4, of course, voted for the program back in December. And they were gone in February, March, when their agent came in with a different quote for them. I don't really know what happened there, except that those guys were not, of course, had no experience with the quote, had no experience with our program, so they didn't leave us because they didn't have any experience. I think they left on recommendation of their agent, and whatever his basis for wanting them to change so quickly, I don't know. But that's an anomaly, quite frankly. Everybody that's been with the program from day one is still with the program, with that exception. We even, when we renewed last April, had members who decided not to seek any other competitive quote. They were happy enough with the program to go another year. Our rates, by the way, stayed flat from the beginning of this program, which means premiums, unless you added a lot of new cars, equipment, buildings, whatnot, generally your premiums stay like this. And most counties appreciate that. It helps them with their budgets. It helps them anticipate. And we expect, knock on wood, for that to continue. So I wanted to kind of dispel any idea that anybody had left the program, because that's not true. And I encourage you to talk to your surrounding counties. You've got in this handout I gave you a map, and it's right behind the kind of the color flyer here. This map shows you all the counties that are currently in the program. And as you can see, you've got Bolivar, you've got Coahoma, Quitman, Warren, of course Hines, Jefferson. I'm just looking over here in your part of the state. Any of those counties, feel free to talk to anybody you know there. Johnny, their lawyers, or of course their supervisors, county administrators, or chancery clerks. We've had some of those people end up recommending our program to other counties. So,
Do you know how long Coahoma County has been just?
I believe they joined in, they weren't one of the first, but I can't remember if they joined late in 14 or in 15. But they've been there, they renewed, I know they renewed it in April with us, so they were there before April. I think they've been there at least a year. Jefferson, likewise, Bolivar joined early and renewed. We've only written coverage for 2 years, and we're now in year 3. I'm going to go through the materials in here a little bit further in just a minute, but I wanted to tell you something that I know you have had questions about, and we don't hide these. We are a self-insured pool. What that means is your money is pooled with the monies from other counties. Now, each county is underwritten separately, meaning Massett has experts, underwriters, and folks who help us look at the risks, the exposures, and puts together a quote that contains within it, as one component, a loss funding amount. And that loss funding amount that it forms a part of the quote is based on your particular risk. So everybody doesn't pay the same. There's no blanket like scrutinized county by county, so that we are getting in premium the amount of money we need to get to take care of the potential losses of that county. And we do that to the tune, it's a very conservative way that we do it. In other words, we have an expert who looks at all our members and all their exposures and their loss histories, and she comes up with a funding amount for us that she thinks will be sufficient to fund the risk for the coming year. She actually gives us 3 different dollar amounts, depending on if we want to fund to what's called a 50% confidence level, which means half the time it'll be up and half. Do we want to fund to an 80%, or do we want to fund to 95%? We always fund to 95%. I can tell you the Tort Claims Board doesn't require that. Nobody does. That's a choice your board has made at Massett to be conservative. And let me tell you, that's paid off. Massett had their first year audit done, of course, in about, April, May of 15, excuse me. And for that year, we had a surplus of almost $1 million. The reason that's important is there is a component of any pool that if for some reason Massett were to not be able to pay its obligations, then obviously one of the options open to our board would be for them to come back and assess counties in addition to the premium that they've already been charged. What you have to ask yourself is, what's the likelihood of that happening? It has to be what's realistic. And I would never tell you that with 100% certainty that could not happen, but I would tell you that we've done a mighty good job of decreasing the odds a whole lot. And one of the things that I can say to you that is evidence of that is the fact that we had surplus in year 1. And I want you to understand what that surplus means. A surplus isn't just we've got $1 million from year 1 left over to pay those claims. The work that's done in an audit is you look at what claims, of course, have already been paid and all the expenses that you've incurred, be it lawyers' fees, adjusters that adjust claims and all that kind of stuff. You subtract all that out. Then you look at what claims are still pending from 2014. And every single claim that comes into the adjuster's offices gets assigned something called a reserve. That's the amount of money they think that claim could ultimately settle for. So every reserve of every pending claim is added up and subtracted. Then the actuary goes a step further and does something by looking at all of our claims and all our, history of pools like ours, etc. And she comes up with something called incurred but not reported. It's a whole new concept for me, IBNR. She comes up with that figure, which means we don't know yet what claims may still be filed from 2014, because we got, for federal claims, it's a 3-year statute. She's got a figure for that we deduct. So after we've deducted everything that has happened, that is currently on the books pending, and anything that could happen, based on experts, again, not me, but experts who've done this for many, many years, we've washed all that out of our revenues, and we're still got $1 million in the bank for 2014. So year 2 rolls around, and this May and June, we got our second year's audit. We had $2.6 million in surplus this year. So altogether, we're right around $3.6 million in 2 years of operation.
How much are your reserves?
Oh goodness, I'd have to look at the thing and tell you. We have cash or cash equivalents set aside to pay for all those.
I just wondered how many millions that might be.
I could tell you, but I guess I will be glad to look at the financials and tell you what the most important thing for purposes of talking about assessments is for you to know that money is there. It's not, that's in addition to the $1 million we had left over in the first year and the $2.6 million we had left over in the second year. And reserves go up and down. We've got cushions built in. But all that's to say to you that I could never say 100% that Massett will never, ever, ever not be able to pay its obligations. But I can tell you this, that year by year, it's looking more and more like Massett is not only able to pay its obligations, but is building equity for the counties that are members of this program. And what that means is if you join, you're an owner. You own the equity of the program. And so one day, if we continue to get profits or surplus built up, the board will get to decide what to do with that surplus. They'll get to decide whether to refund some of it back to our members, whether to discount members' premiums. That's what you get when you come into our organization. The bad side is if we ever run out of money, people get hit. I'm telling you, we are not running the program in such a way that that is any kind of strong likelihood. And furthermore, we will continue to run it the way we have been because that's produced the results that I've described. So I kind of wanted to address that and say to you, yeah, there's that risk. Let me also add to the mix, because this helps. I think your agent will understand, too. Massett only retains $250,000 of each claim. We have reinsurance above that.
Okay.
So every claim, you're a lawyer, yeah, every claim.
I'm just thinking like, you can run everything as wonderfully as you want to, and you have a $3 million surplus, and that's wonderful. But what happens if this courthouse somehow burns down?
Well, that's why
and it's going to be tons more than all of that.
$250,000 is all we'll pay. There's not the program, but that Massett pays. It's $250,000. Our reinsurer will pay every dime above that, all the way up to the full replacement cost of this structure. So that's another thing to throw into this mix that makes people understand that, a $3 million hit is not going to wipe out $3 million of Massett surplus. That's not how it works. We pay $250,000. And the actuaries and everybody else that's built into this program knows that. That's one of the most important factors that they need in order to tell us how much we need to fund, et cetera, et cetera. We pay for reinsurance. That's one of our biggest expenses. And so we're paying a lot of money for the reinsurance, but we need it. It's there for exactly that kind of possibility that Johnny mentioned. So are there any questions before I move into things we're real proud of and that sort of thing? Are there any questions based on anything I've said to you so far about the financial security of the program and how it works and, that sort of thing? Real proud of this, which is we think we've got really good coverages. We didn't pick up a commercial policy and just zap it and say, here it is. We contoured a program, to me, I think, that nobody needs, but you're going to find stuff that you do find that may come up from time to time. This is a model quote or a sample quote. As your agent and we discussed this morning, we have some flexibility in things like this deductible on property of 10. I've got many counties that write with a $5,000 property deductible. And he and I have already discussed that if you ask for us to supply you with a quote, we'll give you that option. We'll give you a $5,000 deductible option, and you may get with the same deductible. We do have, as I said to Johnny, full replacement cost coverage. It's going to build the courthouse back by like materials and quality if it were to be destroyed. It's not going to be talking about actual cash value. It's not going to be talking about reinsurance or co-insurance, neither of which I think you'd want on a building like this or any of your central county buildings. We have law enforcement coverage, which of course every county needs for their sheriff's department. We have $1 million, $2 million, meaning if it's a single incident, we have $1 million per incident. In an aggregate amount per year is $2 million. Again, Massett covers $250,000 of each of those claims, and our reinsurer kicks in for the rest. Our limits are higher on public officials liability because it also includes your EPLI, so we have 1 million per occurrence and 3 million as our annual aggregate. We have automobile, both your collision comprehensive type coverages as well as your liability coverages. We have uninsured motorist coverage if you should wish it to purchase that. We have deductible amounts here of $1,000. Don't know if that's what you're used to or not.
We are.
Okay. Your cyber is something that your agent was telling me y'all bought last November. We have $1 million limits on the third-party liability parts of it. We have $250,000 and $100,000 on the first-party coverages, but $10,000 deductibles. And cyber is getting to be more and more something most counties and most businesses are looking to incorporate into their coverages. And there's an insert in here that you can use. Your agent will probably have something similar to this to compare quotes with, but we just put one together that's just we've got check marks on this side where Massett's coverages are, and we've got, your blanks over here for you to compare it with, along with deductibles and things like that are at the bottom of the, it's a little cheat sheet for anybody to use.
What does that mean, Mississippi attorneys?
Where?
Down at the bottom.
On this informational sheet?
This sheet. Down on the bottom.
We use Mississippi attorneys.
Okay.
We use, Derek and I are proud of the fact that we can tell you that this is a local business of such. It's part of your association. We don't know of any insurance companies that you could give county money to that are local. Zurich's in Switzerland, Travelers is somewhere up in the Northeast. We are a local Mississippi company based at 793 North President Street. We use Mississippi attorneys. Our TPA has an office in Jackson, Mississippi on County Line Road.
But won't you be using kind of like Uric and Travelers?
Mm-hmm. What now?
Won't you be using companies like Uric and Travelers?
No.
Who you'll be using?
Massett is our company. We are the insurance company. And we have
who's
we have reinsurance that
who's
is
your reinsurance?
They are located, their offices are in right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. They're not Mississippi.
Okay.
But
that's my point. Okay.
but our lawyers are local. We work, Doug knows this, with your local agent and pay him a competitive commission. It's built into the quote. I guess, Glenn, what I would say about the fact that we're the company and we're local is, if you need us, Doug was talking about a prior relationship he had with another company. If you need us for any reason, you can pick up the phone and call me. You can pick up the phone and call Renata. And, within the parameters of what the reinsurer covers, we can make things happen. We can provide other coverages. We can, get limits changed. We can answer, of course, all your questions about is this covered or is this claim, how's this claim going? Everything is local in the sense of who you'll be dealing with day to day. We're here, and you know us. We use local banks. I'm trying to think of all that. We got a local CPA. Everything's kept in Mississippi if it can be. There aren't any reinsurers in Mississippi, I'll say that.
Is this claims-made coverage or occurrence?
Well, different ones are different. That's something your agent will tell us, but our POL is always claims made. Nobody has needed anything else. Our law enforcement, we can do it either way, depending on what you have. Do you know what you have?
We have a claim made.
Then it's claims made, and we will write you claims made, so there's...
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something I was going to ask too about that, though.
Okay, it's 10 years back on claims made.
Okay.
And, it gets asked, is that enough? Well, obviously with a 3-year statute, it's pretty good. 1-year statute tort claims. The only thing we could imagine...
About as good as you're going to get.
I think you're right. You're right. I think you're going to be covered by most everything with 10 years retro date situation. Anyway, we are running what we think is a really good program. We're proud of our program. The biggest thing I guess I'm here today to suggest, I hope you will entertain asking us for a quote, because there's no harm done. There's no harm at all in getting a quote from us. And I will assure you that when competitors know we're quoting Sunflower County, their prices will be adjusted. And so whether you choose Massett or not, you'll be getting a savings in all likelihood. And we've seen it over and over again. And y'all know how it works. If there's competition, there's generally an effort to get your best, lowest price in the game. So that's the advantage to just getting a quote. It's up to y'all. Again, I'm not here to twist an arm or anything else, but I didn't want there to be any miscommunication, any misinformation. I wanted to be sure you knew about everything you wanted to know about the program, and that this is y'all's program, and it's an optional program. You take advantage of it or you don't. That's totally your call, and Renata is here, so I want to be sure if she has anything to add or have I left out anything.
Leslie is very thorough, and anything I could have thought of telling you all, she's probably already said it. Just wanted to reiterate that this is your association's program, and just like the inmate cost containment, the small loans, the county employee discount card program, the county scholarship program, where we're just here to support our boards and to do what we can to help.
If you're a member of Massett, you do get an extra $500 college scholarship. I will mention that if your county is. And I'm real proud of this, and this was Renata's effort, so I'm going to show you. It's a booklet that every member gets, and the agent gets it electronically, Doug. And it's got our full policy in it. It's got your deck page in it. It's got all the contact information for how to file a claim, phone numbers, email addresses, web addresses. The cyber policy, of course, is in here too. It's a very thorough and nice document for the agent and the county to have. And so she put these together for us. One of her first things she did for us in the insurance world. And
I'd like to make this comment about the thing that I've learned in the last couple of weeks dealing with Leslie and Renata is one of the things too that when you come to the policy that have expires on 9/1. Now, one thing I learned talking with them this morning is that their policies have a actual date of April 1. When we come in here next week or 2 weeks, whatever, to make proposals, we'll have proposals from your standard insurance companies, and if y'all choose, we'll have a quote from Massett, and y'all choose whoever you want to go with. All right. On the Massett policy, what we would do is not anything. What we would do, we would write your policy from 9/1 to 4/1, okay? And my understanding, talking with Leslie this morning, what would happen would, when she comes in, or whoever, I make the proposal, whoever makes the proposal, you would have a quote from 9/1 to 4/1. Then you would also have a quote from April 1 to April 1 to show you what the annual, what your annualized premium would be. Okay, so make sure that if we come in here and you see 9/1 to 4/1, nobody gets in shock, because that would be the way we would propose it. Now, because we wrote the cyber liability policy November the 10th, what we would do on that policy, on when November 10th came around, we would write that policy from November 10th to 4/1 also, and then when you got back around to April 1 of 2017, you'd be on an annual basis. So there's nothing, you won't lose any money, you won't lose any premium, anything like that. I want to make sure everybody understands that if we came in here with a quote in the next couple of weeks and it has a shock, because that's what we would be doing. Now we'll, as we talked this morning, Leslie and I and Renata, you're currently covered with One Beacon. We'll make a One Beacon quote, and then if the board chooses, we'll make a Massett quote also, and then everything's turned over to y'all to make the decision what you want to do. Okay. Thank you.
How do you? I'd like to know if there are documents that the board has to sign, agree to sign this. Is there an interlocal agreement required?
There's a member agreement, and I'll be glad to ship it to you.
Please do.
It's you remember that? I know I will. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the same one that everybody signs, although I will say we tweaked it there's one member that has a $250,000 self-retention, meaning that's their deductible and that's choice. They got a big old office internally of attorneys and they handle their own stuff up to $250,000. So naturally we tweaked it for them. Essentially it indicates in the agreement that you agree if you have a claim or a loss to settle it if we need to. I will say this, we listen to you on settlements. We talked to you. I've got a recent email that I went around, or document that I sent around to all our members asking them to tell me how much communication they want, for instance, on their pending litigation. And to whom should we communicate? Do you want us to come to your board meetings? So we're trying to keep as much communication back and forth with our members on their litigation as possible so that we hear from you about it.
That's one question, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Some insurance companies don't let you in the middle of the cycle.
We're not that way.
Okay, because when you said quoting from 9-1
to 4-1.
to 4-1. If you chose so you all would let a county come in September.
We had, as I say, that
Now,
coastal
some
county, that-
insurance companies, I know like with Blue Cross Blue Shield.
they have open enrollment just
yeah,
a
that's-
certain time
Yeah,
of year.
you can only get in with them on 12-1.
Yeah.
And that's not the
Yeah,
case.
that's not the
12-1's
case here.
gone.
That
Okay.
was one of the things we cleared up this morning about. And the other thing I like
Wanted
to
to make
say
sure.
too about, that Leslie helped me out, to really helped out a lot this morning was the fact that they, you know, this example shows different deductibles and different amounts. And one of the main things that I really got, feel better about is the fact that, we can ask for optional deductibles and get a little bit more comparable what we have on some of our deductibles now. Some of our deductibles are the same as they are now with my, and that was one of the really key things I got this morning was
Yeah.
that we can ask for optional deductibles, and that was a key, very key point this morning.
Just like the property, this sample quote has a 10,000. I've seen many with 5.
Yeah.
So we obviously, you know, and we look to your agent to tell us if you need different deductibles. Ooh, Glenn, that hurt, didn't it? Anyway, we are very flexible on that, and we'll get a quote that'll probably have, you know, we'll either match the deductibles or we'll give you both to choose from, whatever your agent directs us to do.
I guess my question's always kind of convoluted. When a county chooses to go with you and they use a local agent like in the Northern Insurance,
Sure.
they actually working for you then, right?
No, they really do not work. I mean, you tell me, Doug, don't you feel your client is the county?
My client is a county.
Right, that's how it should
I'm
be.
working for Sunflower County Board of Supervisors.
Well, why would we be using another
Well,
agency?
Well,
We're not an agency, we're the
that's a
insurance company.
company.
We take the place of Travelers.
They're just like, well, right now your insurance is One Beacon. All right, One Beacon pays me a commission, and she told me this morning that they would match that commission.
So my question is, can One Beacon get rid of you right now
No,
No,
as an agent?
no.
he is your agent, you chose
I'm
him.
the agent of the Board of Supervisors.
See, that's it, we tell us who that is. And any company that's gonna quote you should work through your agent of record. And if for any reason, and I'm sure you wouldn't, but a county has been known to change an agent, we switch over and quote through that agent, whoever the board
It'd be
chooses.
our choice.
That's
Yes,
your
sir.
choice. That's your choice.
And he's looking out, you know, his job, I think, is to look out for y'all's interests. And, so we've got a lot of,
Sunflower County Board of Supervisors. I'm not an agent for one, I'm an agent for Sunflower County Board of Supervisors.
and I'm assuming you're an independent agent, which means they're not wedded to a particular company.
So Mass is the insurance company.
We are the insurance company. We just have reinsurance. And, you know, frankly, Glenn, as we grow, like you don't know this, but when we started writing in 14, our self-retention, our part that we paid was only $150,000 per deduct. Now we're going to $250 because we're growing. Over time, we may end up taking on a little more of the risk. It'll all be based on a lot of people that's smarter than me telling us, you know, what we can handle in the way of.
Let me make something clear. The reference to reinsurance, Travelers Insurance Company, One Beacon, Zurich, and all those companies have to buy reinsurance.
They do.
I mean, that reinsurance is not an ugly word. Reinsurance is something that goes on every July 1. I think a lot of July 1 is the
Ours is a
deadline.
July 1 too.
Yeah, is a lot of, they have to have reinsurance too to back them up. So reinsurance is not a dirty word. It's a normal insurance word in the insurance industry.
So they all have it. I thought
Yeah,
that was the case.
it is the case.
Because as
exactly.
rich as Travelers is, you know, they also got a lot of potential risk.
Yeah.
And they buy reinsurance over and above so that they aren't on the line.
And the cost of reinsurance is a factor in your rates.
It is.
You know, if you're buying, if you've had a bad year and you're buying reinsurance, you know, your reinsurance could be, and that's going to reflect back also on the rates that you have with Travelers, One Beacon, or whoever.
Yeah, our rates are dependent on the same things that they would be looking at you and rating you on. We do this. We have people that do. I'm not there, but we have experts just like they do to sit around and look at your loss history and look at how many.
So we have a circumstance arise and I got a report it, because there's a claim made. And I feel like I got to report it. I'll report it to you.
Well, most
actually,
people report it to their agent.
Just like we're handling now. We're
Well, the
handling.
reason, this is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
And I've had fair success. Sometimes you have a claim that comes up and you gotta report it. I mean, you gotta report it so that you know. But I'm not really ready for them to go hire some expensive lawyers
No, a
and
claim,
charge me on it because that's in my deductible.
You don't have
'Cause
to.
I'm getting it worked out.
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
It doesn't necessarily, you're not necessarily.
we don't hire lawyers.
Yeah, you're not ready to file a claim. I mean, you're reporting a claim.
Right.
The reporting of the claim is the most important thing.
And that's
It's not that
important.
necessarily it's going to go into a claims process. Right now, it's reporting the claim.
Well, and that's what I'm asking.
And
if that's what
you
y'all
can
do, 'cause
report it,
that's
and
what
if
I've had
it
pretty
comes
good luck.
to, and it goes to our TPAs, who it goes to, your agent would get with our claims adjusters. But if you're working on it, you would just need to send those instructions along with the reporting of the claim, and then our TPAs would do nothing more than check in with you to make sure, how's it coming,
Yeah.
Johnny? And, did you write the denial letter, if there's a denial letter, that sort of thing. We would not undertake to start adjusting it. And we do have a report-only status with our claims company that just goes into that kind of a holding pattern. So those instructions would just need to come.
It's just like EEOC claims and stuff like that. It's not
That's
necessarily,
some of them. I mean,
that's,
I've
you
done
gotta
some of
report,
those.
you gotta report them. It's not necessarily.
In the room, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm speaking on behalf of Sunflower County, okay?
Mhm.
Not just being a poor
Glenn.
part of the Mississippi Association of Supervisors. Because most people in Sunflower County, citizens, don't even understand
No, they don't know about
that
the
language,
association.
okay?
That's
All
right.
they know is Glenn, Gloria, Ms. Rice, Ms. Donna, are y'all dissing our local business? Let me finish, okay? That's the question.
Well, I've been asked that before, and in fact, Doug and I touched on that this
Let me
morning.
finish.
Okay.
So, that's why I want all this out in the open, because that's been years, Leslie, you and I have talked
Yeah,
2 or 3 years about this.
we have.
Okay? You ought to treat me like your son, because
I do, I feel that way, Glenn.
because we talk so much about, and my thing has been, I said to you, and I said to Doug, I'm not for decreasing our local insurance, because our local insurance.
And that's him, right?
Pay local taxes,
Exactly.
which keep Sunflower County running. That's my big concern. If it's not gonna decrease the revenue for our local insurance, let's shake your head, Miss Dixon, because you don't know
I
yet.
wanna
You gotta
say
get the
something.
quote.
I'm gonna say
If
something.
it don't decrease the revenue for our local insurance, and I'm all for it. But if it decreases our local, I'm not for it.
Well, here's
Now, let me say
the,
something.
go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt anybody.
Let me just say this. I'm for, if we can save money so that we can better serve the citizens of Sunflower County and use that money somewhere else, then I'm for it. I'm interested in the people, the residents that live here in Sunflower County and the type of services we provide to this. This is an opportunity to save money. And we need to look into that opportunity and get a quote and say, here, we'll pay this, and then we will save money for the entire county. More so than one representative or whatever. I want people to get their due, but I also think we got the best interest of the county and what the county would save.
Let me see.
Hold on, Ms. Rice. At the same time, it's the people in Sunflower County. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Rice.
Okay, this was my concern when I first heard about it. I talked to other counties about this, and I was concerned about the same thing you were concerned about. But they told me that they were not going to lock the. You say a few minutes ago that whatever percentage that Doug get, we gonna match it. So that was my concern is because see, I have insurance with State Farm, which is local. I have insurance with Doug, which is local. And I support all, I want everybody to know that I support all local businesses as much as possible. See, and so that was my concern, that we don't want to lock any, Mr. Don, any local business out. And I was concerned about our local agent. And when you said that whatever percentage that that the other company pays him, they'll match it. So I'm concerned, that was my concern.
And we understand
And I
that
see
concern.
that, yeah.
Let me make it plain.
Uh-huh,
If I wash the car for Selecta, they may pay me $10 for washing it.
okay,
If I wash a car for Glenn Donald,
uh-huh,
I get $60 for washing it.
uh-huh.
That's my point.
Well, that was what I'm saying here. See, that was my concern about,
The car still wash,
yeah,
but I get
let's say.
Selector would've got the 60 and give me
Well, here-
10.
here, just
If
to
I
be-
wash myself, I get the whole 60. I gotta go to the boardroom.
Okay, I'll hold.
I don't think
It won't be my fault.
You know, I'll repeat this when Glenn comes back, but here's the deal. He gets 10% now. We pay every agent 10%, because we knew that was, we were competitive
Yeah.
commission. And we wanted to be competitive, because we felt that was fair. And we also knew how important using and working through your local agents was to you. We never, ever considered any other structure in this program in any way other than going through and writing coverage through your local agents. Certainly there are programs that don't. I think that the MML program for municipalities does not. I'm told that they actually, I think the agent has to come to the county, or excuse me, to the municipality and say, you know, if you want me to get paid, here's my part. But the MML program doesn't bother with them. They don't put the agent's commission in the quote or anything else. We always have put the agent's 10% built into that quote. We work with your local agent. You know, that's an important component to you and to us. Now, in all honesty, if you save money, then the 10% is going to be less than if you don't save money. Do you see what I'm saying? He's telling us that they needed help in some of their costs, and insurance is one of them,
Yeah.
to help them meet, you know, other budgetary needs. And so that's why the program was created. But as far as, Glenn, I said I'd repeat this for you, and I will.
Please.
We
I
never
couldn't wait.
considered ever a program structure working through your local agent and paying what I was assured was a competitive commission. And I think Doug has assured me this morning that our 10% is competitive. We knew that was important to our members because we listened to y'all. We knew that you wanted to keep local funds in your county. And so we, like I said, never considered any other program but one that would work through your local agent that you chose. In all honesty, and I can't predict what your quote's going to be. I don't have your underwriting data myself, and I'm certainly not the one that's qualified to analyze it. But if it comes back that the Massett quote is lower in amount than what you get from One Beacon or whoever, then obviously 10% of that amount is less money than 10% of the One Beacon if it's a higher amount. That's common sense. But that's a call for this board to make, and I wouldn't want to weigh into that except to say that we have a profit margin in it. That's one of the ways that Massett is able to be lower in price, is that we don't have shareholders who are looking to us for money from running this business. We're strictly doing this at the direction of our board, which is people like you. And so we don't have a profit margin built in. We're not even really recouping our own costs, to be honest. The people that advised us to take a certain percentage as an administrative cost to cover our costs. First year we took 0. And the second year we took like 1.25%, which is way lower than what we were told would actually represent more cost. So Massett has never been run as a for-profit, and it won't be. But still, we are out to save our county's money. And in doing so, and you can address this because you're the one impacted, but if our lower, 10% of our price is less commission than if it was 10% of a higher priced product. So that's just in all honesty, to be honest here. I just wanted you to know that. But otherwise, we're working through your local people.
Okay.
Fully.
All right.
And one other thing that I noticed.
We had 25 minutes on
Okay,
this.
just 1 minute.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead on and do the proposal, I think. Why
Well,
can't
that's, I mean, if you
We
want to
wasn't
move.
going to vote for right now. It was only to bring her in to discuss, to show us. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I was noticing the things that they were working on, trying to save the county's money. I know 3 things they said they were working on: the inmate medical program, the Mississippi Association of Supervisors Insurance Program, and the next one they said they're going to be working on will be health care.
It is next.
So that's what they're doing is, because this is our association, and they are working to save us money. See, that's what it is. And see, yeah, trying to save us some money, and that's what that's the only thing I'm concerned about. See, because our county, that's right, and everybody in it, you know, even our local vendors, I look at things that's going to support them, and I want everybody, as far as I'm concerned, is that I'm all for supporting local businesses as much as possible. See, because some people get the understanding that we trying to lock them out or something like that. But I want to do what's best for Sunflower County. And that's the only way we're going to ever do anything. We're going to have to work together, and you're going to have to make changes. Changes are going to come whether you like it or not. See, and those are the things that I was concerned about.
From Massett for our insurance coverage.
We was gonna work on it some more in work session, Ms. Dixon, if you don't mind. You still be able to vote today.
Okay.
If there's other.
The purpose was to talk her, give her that. Y'all wanted to know how it went, and so we invited her to explain it to y'all.
Yeah.
But in our work session, we're gonna be making a lot of decisions after 2 o'clock, and this can be one of them.
If you have any questions that come up, either later in your work session or after